Yeah, they hate when you elevate. The second of losses, I'm handing them out, yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment, I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly, I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate. Elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate. Elevate, elevate. Yeah, they hate when you elevate. Elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate. Yeah, I had to elevate. I'm way too fly. Yeah, I'm feeling myself. Ain't no chance I'm coming down, no. Got a soul view to myself, yeah. Why would I give it up? Why do they wanna come take my place? I work too hard for it, don't need a replacement. This my vocation. Now I got rollies, all in rotation. Hop on a jet just to take a vacation. Remember the moments was trapped in the basement. Now the hard work is all taking me places. Starting all black like we trapped in the matrix. Bet on myself and go ball out in Vegas. Living a life like I'm rich and I'm famous. Don't see the grind that I know that it came with. Oh. I ain't make it this far for myself, yeah. I had to prove to everybody else.
Yeah.
I had to set them straight. Yeah. I had to ball, so I had to renovate. I know they hate when you elevate. The second of losses, I'm handing them out. Yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment. I swear I could levitate.
This song sound real good right now, buddy.
Really fly.
Yo, every time.
They hate when you elevate. Elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate. Elevate, elevate. Yeah. They hate when you elevate. Elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate. Yeah. I had to elevate. Ooh, yeah. Why they wanna bring me down?
Real shit.
So much drip, yeah, I almost drowned in it.
I think we should just do this video.
Yeah, I'm way too fired up. I can't slow it down. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm in my bag. Whoa. Hey, I'm in my bag tonight.
Ooh, I might just pull up a foreign. Watch out, the engine is roaring. It's too loud, you can ignore
You
it.
know that part.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I don't like the word foreign.
You get to have it all, no need to choose. First, let me demonstrate how you can rise to the top. Yeah, I had to elevate.
Salute. ATP, what it do, man? We got a couple people in the building. We got a couple, you know how we do. It's a creep show. Everybody creeps in slowly. Shout out to my brother, GHB TV. I know he out there doing his thing. You know what I mean? He just jumped on, you know. Shout out to my brother out there doing it. But, you know, we got to keep the movement over here doing what we do. Shout out to everybody in the building. JR Spock in the building. Straight grassroots right there. The jump, man. I appreciate you, JR Spock. Thank you, bro, for your presence, your contribution to this channel, bro, and keeping this channel where it needs to be. Shout out to Jonathan97. Grassroots. You know what I'm saying? From the beginning.
Early.
Yeah, here with us early, man. Motivated. Told us to keep going, keep moving. Don't stop. No, can't do without you guys, man. Oh, and shout out to one of the favorite, Echo in the building. Say, Echo, sorry we started an hour late tonight. It was a presidential debate tonight. It's still going on, to be honest with you, but I went ahead. I'll catch the rest of it, you know, on my own time in the morning. But I definitely wanted to catch that debate. Interesting debate. You know what I mean? I'm actually thinking about starting up a channel, a political channel a little bit, kind of going over this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But we won't do that here, obviously. You know, we got a lot of boxing to talk about. Tonight, man. And we're definitely going to address it. You know what I'm saying? Whoa. What's going on here? Okay. Well, we got one person in the building. They ain't like the intro, bro. They ain't like the intro.
Hey, just they left out.
Yeah, everybody.
Said, oh man, they did too long. They did too much. They don't know what they look like.
Echo must be the one saying here because I know.
No,
Echo
we got more. We got 3 watching. We back where we was.
No, we wasn't. We was at like 7, but it's all good. But yeah, man.
Then this YouTube playing those Jedi mind tricks, huh?
I think it is. But guys, remember to hit the likes on your way in the building. You know what I'm saying? Show love. We got a lot to talk about tonight. These debates is very interesting, though. I ain't gonna lie, man. The debates get interesting. Like they say that most people go into these debates, watching these debates, they go into it already knowing who they're going with anyway. It doesn't make that much of a difference. I think tonight there was a lot of people looking for some. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think tonight was more of a Kamala Harris show. Like everybody wanted to see how she was going to be. We've seen Trump on so many different speeches and platforms doing what he does. Everybody kind of wanted to see if Kamala was going to be able to answer the hard questions, you know what I mean, stick to the topics and do what she does. You know, people are going to have their opinions about how that happened, but I got to rewatch it to really get a better angle on how I feel about it. But I'll give her a credit, though. She did better than I think a lot of people thought she was going to do. And sometimes when you like not doing that well so much and get so much criticism, any type of improvement will be magnified. So we'll see what happens, man. So yeah, salute round one, sports talk. Salute, Jonathan 97. Everybody talking about it. Berlanga in the 6th round. Berlanga talking about we're going to talk about these topics tonight. First of all, Berlanga's talking about bringing IQ to the table. I want to talk about that topic a little bit because my fear or my understand the way I kind of see it is when you get to the big show, do what got you there. Be yourself, be you. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I would ever say that I would put Berlanga as somebody that I put out there as having an IQ in this space, having a high IQ. So my fear is if you go out there trying to execute some sort of high IQ, really, in my opinion, rhymes with overthinking for somebody who hasn't been using their IQ that much in their career, who's been kind of like a very, you know what I mean, heavy right hand, setting up the right hand. The one thing I'll say bring to the table, like I said yesterday, is bring that jab. Make sure that jab is there all night. Be more consistent with that jab than you ever been in your whole career. But if you get too deep with it, I think, yeah, we'll talk about that. And then, of course, we're going to talk about the undercard. I mean, the Edgar Berlanga and Canelo Alvarez is top of the list because they're the fight that's coming up this weekend. But I also want to get into this undercard and what's going to happen to these divisions. You know what I mean? What does this look like? Salute, Inevitable with D Block in the building. Facts, my God, man. Salute, man. Long time no see.
My brother.
I want to talk about what these divisions are getting ready to look like. I want to talk about Stephen Fulton and what it looks like at 130 for him. If he's able to, what are we looking to see in Stephen Fulton, who last time we saw him got stopped by a monster Inoue? You know what I mean? What are we looking to see out of Stephen Fulton in this fight? Danny Garcia, what are we looking to see out of a Danny Garcia? What does this mean for him? What is he trying to do? What do we think he's trying to do? Is he here for the bag? Is this his second win on his career? Is he taking it all the way? Title contention? I'm hearing rumors that this is a catchweight fight, not a 160-pound fight, which makes me question as to whether or not Erislandy Lara's title's on the line. We'll talk about that. Caleb Plant, what is he trying to do? Making a second run over to Canelo Alvarez. That's what he's trying to do. But 168 has kind of got another face on it now that David Morrell and David Benavidez has left that division. What's Caleb Plant trying to accomplish? Can he accomplish it? Can Caleb Plant possibly be the best 168-pounder besides Canelo Alvarez in his division right now? Does this fight prove anything? Does Trevor McCum going to push him to the limits and show us what Caleb can really do? Right? We're going to talk about all that, and of course, we are going to finally talk about it. I've been wanting to talk about it. I want to get into this Anthony Joshua, Daniel Dubois fight that I think is potentially going to be fight of the year. I think it has fight of the year attributes to it. Now, obviously, we can't call it until after the fight is done, but I'm telling you, the elements are there. You've got the history. We're going to talk about it. Daniel Dubois coming from the bottom, then getting hitting a stump, right? People questioning his heart. Then him and his coach, who, if you guys don't know, Don Charles was a coach of Anthony Joshua, worked with Anthony Joshua. They have a relationship. Anthony Joshua's gone through multiple trainers to be right now with Ben Davidson in a rehabilitation to his career, has gotten to this point, maybe comeback of the year, comeback of the past 2-3 years. You know what I'm saying? If he's able to bring this full circle, becoming the IBF champion. And what does he have next after this? Of course, the winner between Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury. I think most of us will be cheering for Tyson Fury based on the fact that we want to see Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury go at it. We've already seen him and Usyk do it twice, but there's a lot going on with that fight. A lot going on. We're going to talk about it, you know what I'm saying? And we're going to talk about all this. And like the title says, shout out to the thumbnail, formidable. Are these opponents formidable? And let's talk about it. And let's have a good time doing it, bro. My brother Ray Davis, how are you doing this evening? How's your day been going?
Oh, my day was going swell, Clay. You know what I mean? Listening to a few of the things going on, watched the little press conference. I like what you said. We'll get to it about what Berlanga said about IQ, the catchweight situation. I did some research on that, so I got some answers and breaking information on that. Other than that, man, I'm just chilling, man. Shout out to Ryan Fraser was on his show just a little bit ago. I think he just
Okay.
ended. I didn't get a chance to tap in this afternoon to too many channels. You know what I mean? I did go around showing some support as I seen them. I think I tapped into Just Do for a little bit. I tapped into our
Yeah, I went
boy
up on the panel
Doc.
just for a little bit too.
Okay, Dr. Boxing. I was over there for a minute. Um, Big J Hardcore, salute to him. You know what I mean? Him and the JPT crew. You know what I mean? Let them guys doing some real boxing talk over there. That's what they like to do. That's what it stands for.
Mhm.
I tapped in over there. I even tapped into some other spaces. You know what I mean? Just around listening to what's going on. Even our friend Two Cents had a little thing she did today. You know what I mean? I tapped into that also. And so it's been some really dope content going on. A lot of moving parts in the boxing game. You know what I mean? A lot of things to talk about. No need to stay on one thing or another. You
No,
know,
no,
and
no,
and
no.
I think this fight right here. I mean, this fight is actually still being as much as I didn't want it to. It's like the pressure on Tank Davis seems to be starting to overshadow this card this weekend. It's only Tuesday. It's early in the week, man. Let this fight get through first, and then we'll talk about Tank.
Yeah, I mean, this conversation, and Tank is not speaking. He's not speaking to the fight. A lot of content creators have their opinions of who the opponent's going to be. People are leaning towards Ryo. You got rumors and
So, Blaze.
of Lomachenko possibly being still out there as a potential opponent. There's a lot of different direct. Tank Davis is a content creator's dream to a degree, and a content creator's nightmare at the same time, right? He's a nightmare and a dream. He's a dream because at the end of the day, he's such an exciting fighter. I can join the club and let you know I'm always excited to hear when Gervonta has a fight. I always want to see what his next fight is going to be. But at the same time, he's a content creator's worst nightmare because he doesn't communicate to the space too much. He's not on Twitter too much. He's not letting the world know what's going on. Everybody around him has to speak about it, and we know that everybody around him has a history of speaking and it not being accurate to what he's actually trying to do. So it's a content creator's best dream because he's the most popular fighter of today's time, probably, especially in this community, in this demographic, right? In this urban demographic, he's the most popular fighter. But at the same time, he doesn't give them content. He doesn't speak to them like that. So they're always guessing and reaching and at times making things up, you know what I'm saying, to kind of put the dots together, you know what I mean, to figure out what he's going to do. I've learned that you have to be patient with Tank. I'll tell you what, though, when he starts getting ready for a fight, that's usually when he starts getting active on the Twitter. That's usually when he starts speaking and you can get a little bit better of an idea. I'll say at this point, I'm 75% confident that we are going to see Tank Davis early November. And that's about as far as I can go with it because I don't know who he's fighting. It should be Ryo, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But I'm hearing other rumors as well. I'm not going to be the one to sit here and drop some news when I don't even have like the straight up information. But I can say at this point, seeing him in the gym with Richard Hitchinson up in New York and seeing him get ready. Richard Hitchinson also obviously trying to get ready for fights that he has coming down the line as well. I'm hearing he's supposed to be fighting who's he fighting again? He's fighting somebody's old food. Keyshawn's old food.
Richard Hitchinson?
Yeah.
Is fighting yeah. Hold on. Cause I know I just seen
Keyshawn Davis's old food. Keyshawn Davis is fighting his old food, and Gustavo Lemos is fighting.
Right. He's fighting. I'm gonna go in there right now, Clay. I promise you, I know who you're talking about. It was like 3 fights ago before that what's his fight?
He's fighting Jose Pedraza.
Yeah.
That's what he's fighting. He's fighting Jose Pedraza. Shout out to the memory. And
that's
so you know. So
that's you know why? Look, it's funny to say that, right? It's gonna be a tough fight for Hitchinson, and not based on his last performance.
Right.
Reason why is because I think and it's funny that Keyshawn actually said this. Pedraza has been at 140, campaigning at 140 for the last 3 years.
Right.
And I think he came down to the weight of Keyshawn to fight him, which Keyshawn always said that Abdullah Mason is pulling fighters down and pulling fighters up, right? So it's funny how that worked. And I actually forgot about that. And I was like, man, I could have countered that dude with that. But, I ain't about to counter no boxers, bro. It is what it is. It's just funny that he said that. And, he's fighting Pedraza. Pedraza's going to be healthier. I think he put on a good showing. It looked like he just ran out of steam in the second round, bro. Just with Keyshawn. I think he was putting on a good show at first, and he lasted. He took some good shots, and he lasted with Keyshawn up to what, 6-7 rounds,
somewhere like that, 6 or 7.
Yeah,
Yeah. No,
yeah.
he did
So
good. And you
yeah,
can attribute that. It would be fair. It's reasonable to attribute it to the weight cut. You know what I'm saying?
right,
That he's going to be a different animal at 140 when he's fighting
right.
against. I see where you're going with this. For
I
definitely,
mean,
man. I definitely see it the same way you do.
it's gonna be. Yep. Oh, we'll
Yeah.
build on that later, though.
No, 100%. I think Pedraza has the ability. He has the power, but he also has the boxing skills to not be taken advantage of the way Gustavo was taken advantage of. So Hitchinson won't be able to escape the pressure like he did with Gustavo. He was able to do things with Gustavo that Pedraza was going to give him some different looks. He is. I see that J.R. Spock said he's kind of going backwards in competition. We'll speak to that too a little bit later in the evening because I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, man, he gave up an IBF mandatory position and ability to fight Liam Paro and become a champion to go back and fight. To go ahead and fight Jose Pedraza. So that's weird, right? I mean, Hitchinson always complained about wanting to see how he felt about the 10-pound rehydration clause with the IBF belt. He said that he wanted to see what it was, but I was pretty sure that he said him and his coach, especially his coach, went on Mill City like a week or two ago and said that they were activating that mandatory. That, as a matter of fact, they were questioning how Devin Haney planned on fighting Liam Paros for an IBF title when they were going to activate their mandatory. So, obviously some plans changed somewhere in there. I don't think, unless it was step aside money, which I don't see why it would be that. We'll talk about it later, right? We'll definitely talk about it later. But let's talk about the topic at the top of the key, really, the Edgar Berlanga and Canelo fight. Let's get to that because I want to get to these other fights under there. But I want to kind of discuss this whole IQ thing. This whole entire Edgar Berlanga has IQ, and I don't know who it was in here who mentioned that Bruce Carrington spoke to it. He did speak to it, right? He said that his IQ is up there. He said that Berlanga has been working on, he has a higher IQ than we're aware of. That's what I'm hearing. He has this IQ, this degree of boxing that he's never shown the world, that's always been there, and he plans on showcasing. Matter of fact, he thinks it's a very important one, going to be one of the most important things that's going to make the difference in this fight. He credits Jaime Munguia's loss to his lack of IQ, saying Jaime Munguia actually had a decent game plan, was coming with a decent offense, but his lack of IQ put him in some bad positions, and this is what the difference is going to be between Edgar Berlanga and other people that Canelo Alvarez has fought. What do you think about that?
Number one, the IQ situation. Let me personally direct that because even Edgar Berlanga said it himself, and I actually understand, I think, where he's coming from.
Let me just hold on. Shout out to Blaze. Shout out to Round One. Shout out to Well Connected. I just want to go ahead and get that out the way because I'll mess around and not say nothing because once we start going, you know how we do. So go ahead, though, Ray.
Steve, peace. Edwin, peace. So here's the thing. I think that when Edwin said that his IQ was going to come out because of the fight he's going to be in the ring with, he's going to bounce off the responses and the movements of how Canelo is boxing. He's going to utilize that, and Canelo's going to bring that out. Like basically saying the fighter across from me is going to bring the best out of me, which I understand because one, he has to study. Two, he has to work on things. Three, he has to see what weaknesses he has, right? So he's going to be looking for these things like any other person. You know what I mean? He's trying to play quarterback right now and win the Super Bowl. And he believes that he didn't get there by a fluke. He believes he got there to win the championship. He's not coming up short. And I believe that confidence is giving him some abilities that he just didn't know he had. And people spoke to him about it like, yo, you're a smart boxer. Yo, you've done things that you didn't even realize you've done before. So now you're at this level where you have to utilize your skill set. You have to be humble. You have to learn things and you have to see things. And I think that's what we're talking about because I think he himself said, like I said earlier, Canelo's going to bring his IQ out. You know what I mean? It's not him going in there because he all of a sudden has an IQ. He always had an IQ, but this guy's going to bring something out of him that he never shown before. And that's where I think he's going with it, Clay.
Man, I mean, you put it together very well, man. I think that, 100% Edgar Berlanga, I always tell people those first 16 to 17 fights of his career, he really didn't have to showcase anything. And you guys know how I feel about fighter development, about the matchmaking, and you want that matchmaking is so vital to a fighter's development. And what I think is very possible and very reasonable to look at is to say that Edgar Berlanga may have digressed a little bit during those 16 to 17 fights. That the person who came in with that amateur pedigree and who probably had that IQ that he's talking about may have gotten lost a little bit in that first 16 to 17 fights because of the success he was finding fighting the way he was. And he kind of got caught off guard. But the question is, has he adjusted? Is he back in that bag? Is he opening up an old dusty tool bag that he hasn't really gone into? And have we as fans not been able to see him showcase this talent, this IQ that he has, because of just matchmaking and just him readjusting back to who he really was after he got stumped after those first 16 to 17 first round knockouts. So I'm interested in seeing that. I think that makes the fight more interesting, it gives hope to the fight being a competitive fight where people are thinking that Edgar is really out of his element, that Canelo Alvarez is just levels above him. And there's this gray area right now where we can entertain and have to see the night of the fight. Is it really that far apart, or is it that we haven't had an opportunity to see this in him because of the success he was having with the matchmaking that was done? Is Edgar Berlanga a better fighter than he's shown us? Have we not seen the best of Edgar Berlanga because of matchmaking circumstances? I think that's interesting, man. I think it's interesting to look at, but at the same time, like I said earlier, if you're thinking too much with Canelo Alvarez in the ring, how safe is that? That's a dangerous place to be in with a Canelo Alvarez with bad intentions on his mind about what he's going to do. Canelo Alvarez, one thing he brings to the table is that he's well-rounded, but also he's acclimated to the 168-pound division. He's acclimated to his style of boxing. We're not looking to see anything new from Canelo Alvarez. He's shown us a lot, 60-plus fights, professional fights into the game. We've seen a lot in Canelo Alvarez. Edgar Berlanga is talking about bringing something that we haven't seen from him. You know what I mean? And that makes it an interesting, exciting fight, more of an interesting, exciting fight to look at, because I'm eager to see now. He's working hard. He moved himself out of Florida. He went to Colorado, and he's been working. He's getting his conditioning up. One thing's for sure, two things for certain. Edgar's taking his fight very seriously. He's really trying to win. He really thinks he can win, and that goes a long way. We want to have short-term memory with him as far as what his ability is and how hard he punches. Edgar Berlanga could very well be the harder puncher in the ring that night. He could be the more dangerous fighter in the ring that night. Canelo Alvarez may need to move a lot more that night, keep his head off that line. He may need to make sure he doesn't get hit by a hard punching Edgar Berlanga.
I agree.
Let me see. Blaze, you're right, but we have hope. Let me see. Let me just read this in at Joe Helly. Blaze said, McCrory was a C-level fighter, but Berlanga had a great performance against him in his last fight. Eric Berlanga is going to give his best, but Canelo is a certified elite fighter. 100%, Blaze. That's a fact. Yeah. I'll tell you what, I'm almost sure that I can guarantee you guys, and I hope I'm not wrong on this, I think we will see the best Edgar Berlanga we ever saw. I just don't think that version of Edgar Berlanga is enough to beat Canelo Alvarez. We'll find that out on Saturday night, of course. You know what I mean? But it'll be interesting to see him step up his game. And here's my question. Even in a loss, if he competes at a high level, is Edgar Berlanga going to raise his stock from this fight, win or lose? Is he going to do that one way or the other in this fight?
Right. If he goes in there and lays an egg, bro, nobody gonna care about it no more. He gonna be the laughing stock. He's gonna be like Rolly Romero. I'm sorry, Rolly won that last fight he had with Pitbull, but I'm sorry. But anyway, we'll be looking at it as the Rolly Pitbull fight. Like, yo, this guy didn't even belong in the ring with him. What were they thinking? Every little thing you want to think of, et cetera, et cetera. But if he's able to muster and, like I said, dial in, make it competitive, maybe even sit Canelo down, maybe even make Canelo think about some of the shots he's absorbing. Does he start changing momentum from round to round, lasting the whole fight? Just making it interesting. Yes, he wins. He wins because now his stock grows. We already know if Canelo wins, he's probably going to move up and get in the way at the lightweight division to try to get that rematch with whoever the winner is in Bivol and Beterbiev. So that seems like that's his likely his gate out, so he's gonna probably drop the belts anyway. That leaves 3 or 4 champions there, um, to fight for. And the reason why I say 3 or 4 because I believe the IBF champion I don't think has been named yet, but the IBF champion can end up getting another title. You know what I mean? I think it did name an interim, but whatever. Um, but that just leaves space for people to run around and get belts. Now that leaves okay. Berlanga just did a great fight. Berlanga. Sorry, I almost said McGee and Berlanga together. My bad. And McGee also put on a great fight. That leads to another Mexican uh, um, style versus Puerto Rican. Oh, sorry, Puerto Rico versus Mexico war again. Not in the necessary of the war sense, but just a great matchup. A very good Caribbean blue water island feel matchup. You know what I mean? It brings the people out, as they say. It gets the people going. You know what I mean? That's what it does, bro. You dig? So now we're gonna have him out there. It's gonna show something. It's gonna bring somebody to that division. People gonna have eyes on them because I think that'll put them at 1 or 2, 1 or 3, 3 or 2, 2 or 3, whatever how you want to look at it. And that's what's up, man. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I think Edgar Berlanga's mission is to definitely he's going to get to put his stock up in this fight, win or lose. He needs to be focused on that performance being championship level performance. This is his first title shot in real time. You know, he's going. A lot of people feel like he's going from prospect straight to the big show because they feel like he's never really shown us anything significant in his professional career yet. I mean, those first couple of knockouts, those first 16, 17, I can't remember what it was that he did in his career was amazing that he was doing it. But, you know, matchmaking is matchmaking. But it seems like once he got there with the real competition that, you know, he kind of stalled up a little bit who he is or who we were expecting him to be. A lot of people feel like he digressed a little bit. So this fight right here is going to be a fight where he gets to prove a lot of people wrong. He gets to speak to what he is and who he is in the division, and also puts the whole 168-pound weight class division in a better perspective right now. Because right now, outside of Canelo Alvarez, a Christian and Billy maybe, you know what I'm saying? And Christian and Billy really is in the conversation because David Benavidez and David Morrell isn't there. But when you think about it, it's really Caleb Plant, Canelo Alvarez, like, really think about who you guys think right now is running it at 168 and who's really making that division interesting. Edgar Berlanga can make the division more. Of course, Jaime Munguia. Edgar Berlanga has an opportunity to put himself in a serious place in that division as far as the conversation is concerned. When we're talking about 168, we want to put Edgar Berlanga in there, but we haven't been able to over the past couple of years because he hasn't been shown improving against those type of competitions. He just hasn't done it yet. So he gets to do it against the biggest dog in the game in Canelo Alvarez, the face of boxing. He gets to do it in that situation, and we'll see what that pans out to be for Edgar Berlanga. You know what I mean? Let me see here. What we got here? We got a lot. Shout out to the chat being very active in here tonight. I really appreciate you guys, man. Really into the conversation. Let's read a couple of these comments off. Round One Boxing Talk said, we need someone new. I'm hoping for the best. 100%, man. I agree with that. Blaze said, we will see the best Edgar Berlanga. He's living his dream. When he was on his first round KO streak, he was speaking about ultimately fighting Canelo. And now he has his shot. I know he's going to give it his all. I believe it too, man. I really believe it. His father, I mean, when you look at everything that's built up around him, his father's there now. Father went to prison. Now he's out. He's performing in front of his father, in front of his child, in front of his girl. You know what I'm saying? He's got everything. He's got everything to fight and go out on his shield for. It's all going to be ringside for him. I'm just expecting the best version of himself. Now, let me ask this question as well. I mean, you've already kind of picked, you're picking the upset, which I'm okay with because I think this channel, ATB Combat Media, is definitely behind Edgar Berlanga. We want to see him do his best. We want to see him dethrone the tyrant, the dictator, Canelo Alvarez, release the belts so that the division can pick up and we can start seeing 168 reborn. But so if Edgar Berlanga, when was the last time? I don't remember the last time I've ever seen Canelo Alvarez's chin cracked, where I've seen him stumbled, hurt, recover, have to deal with any real adversity in that ring from power punching. When was the last time, or when have you ever seen that with Canelo Alvarez?
You're talking about probably. I'm trying to think of who he fought. It was probably when he first moved to. No, I think it was a fight or two. I think Triple G. I want to say it was a. Hold on, let me see.
You feel like you see him hurt because Triple G was sitting him with everything. He
Triple
was hitting
G. I think Triple G. I think Triple G stunned him. I don't know if he hurt him, but I'm gonna give you the fighter that I think hurt him. A lot of people think Lara gave him a good fight, but
but he was more so. That was the Lara of that was a Cuban style boxer Lara who was winning rounds. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't really cracking Canelo like that. Triple G was the one, in my opinion, that was like really cracking him. Yeah, Blaze is saying it too. Triple G was cracking him, and I never seen him hurt. But look, man, will age, can age, and will age play a factor in this fight with Edgar Berlanga? With Canelo Alvarez and Edgar Berlanga. He's getting older. He's not getting younger. In boxing years, with 60 plus fights on his record, is Canelo Alvarez's age finally going to resurface and finally play a role in the way he's able to perform? Because this Edgar Berlanga is not a old Edgar Berlanga. He's in his prime, prime younger Edgar Berlanga that he's fighting. He's fighting a real gunner right now. I think Edgar Berlanga has all the ingredients to make this a very interesting fight Saturday night.
Right. By the way, I think it was Austin Trout that gave him a little crack on the chin.
Right. Austin was cracking him too. Yep. Definitely.
I think it was Austin Trout. So as far as what Echo said, Floyd, I don't think Floyd really made him I think he frustrated him. I think he took him out of his game plan. And we see the same thing with Bivol. And that's why I said recent history is good history, right? Because when Edgar goes back and watches the Bivol fight, he goes, okay, I see everything that Munguia did. Munguia was fighting him good, but I see what he did not do. You know what I mean? He did not follow up with this. He did not move this way. He did not do what Bivol did. So I have a reach advantage over this guy. I have the opportunity to do this, and this, and I can catch him walking into something. This is where his IQ, I think, is coming in. I can catch him walking in because if I can frustrate him, that means I can catch him and put him down. And I think that's what Berlanga's thinking. As far as what you were about to ask me about the picks, I'm just going to give it to you as it is. And I'm going to go there quick because I don't want to forget this. Listen, I like greatness. Greatness is what it is. I do want to see Canelo carry on through his greatness and you know what I mean. Something inside of me always says look, they got Cinnamon, right? That's what they call him now, Cinnamon. Cinnamon Alvarez. It sounds weird. Is what boxing needs. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's what boxing needs. And if we keep looking at it as, oh, this guy's holding the belts, this guy's doing this guy's accomplished a lot in 64 fights. We're not giving him the credit for the 64 fights because half of them we didn't see, whatever the case may be. But this guy is a dominant fighter. This guy is a formidable fighter. And he's shown us that he's been formidable for years. He's been a hard person to dominate and beat. He's been a hard person to match up with and even compete with at sometimes. So yeah, he has the pick of the litter at this point. And I think the respectful thing is he should drop the belts and just fight. You know what I mean? Maybe pick up a title and drop it and do what Floyd did, or you know what I mean? If he's going to keep the belts, fight the mandatories. You know what I mean? Just give us what we want. I think the sanctioning bodies are like, yo, this guy's a legend. You know what I mean? Forget legacy. This guy's a legend. He's got legendary status. So we're just going to step aside and let him do what he does because he's earned it. And sometimes that happens in sports. Tom Brady got the call because he was Tom Brady. Hey, you touch my feet, flag, pass interference from the quarterback, roughing that quarterback, whatever. You know what I mean? So in Canelo's case, he's got that legendary status. So I understand that he's able to move the way he wants to move. And I don't have a problem with that so much. You know what I mean? I like to see him continue his growth and as he retires, you know what I mean? Because he's closing in on those years. But then again, I always look at it's time for like the lions in a pride. Sometimes you can be the king of the hill. You can be that lion. And as you age, there's always a young lion coming to get you. Canelo's went through 24 to 30 other lions. Now he's got a young lion that's prime and ripe, ready for him and calling him out and saying, "Look, this is my pride now. I want to run this. You got what I want." And I think that's where the danger lies in this fight. And I think this is what we need in boxing. We need a guy that's not afraid. And I think Berlanga is definitely showing us that he's not afraid. And I'm going to say Berlanga because I keep calling him Berlanga because the McGee think he's messing me up. But I think we're going to get great fireworks this week and this weekend. And I think I am going with the upset overall.
Yeah. I'm going for the upset. I don't know how confident I'm in it. I am in the upset right now. I'm talking it up a lot right now. I'm highlighting the better aspects, the gray areas that we don't have the answers to, and hoping that Berlanga is able to check those boxes. What do you think about the outside distractions right now for Edgar Berlanga in this fight, and what kind of role can that play in this fight? And when I'm talking about outside distractions, guys, you've been following. If you haven't been, he's been dealing with the social media. Obviously, the whole world thinks that Berlanga doesn't even belong in this opportunity, with the pushback also that everybody wanted to see David Benavidez in this spot. They feel like Canelo Alvarez is literally cherry picking in Edgar Berlanga, which has got Edgar Berlanga looking bad as well, right? Bad enough to where most people, I would say 75 to 90% of the people I speak to are picking Canelo Alvarez to have one of his easiest wins against Edgar Berlanga. He hasn't been dealing with that. I don't want to say he hasn't been dealing with it well, but he's been responding to it a lot. He hasn't done a good job of ignoring it, right? He's always speaking on it. And then you have the limelight, you know what I'm saying, that that he has to ignore. Edgar Berlanga is used to being the I don't want to say the pretty boy, but, you know, people compare him to trying to be a rapper, the jewelry, you know what I'm saying? Just that lifestyle that a lot of people will credit to Edgar Berlanga's digression as a fighter, to say that he was way too much chilling with a Fat Joe, for example, or way too much outside looking a certain way and not focus on being in the gym enough. A lot of people credit that to his digression. And of course, other fighters, you know, he seems to be distracted and focused on throwing shots at the Caleb Plants, throwing shots at the David Benavidez's, the Jose Benavidez's, all these other people who have doubted him, and let's be honest, probably are speaking towards the fact that he doesn't belong in that spot, that David is supposed to be there. He seems to always have time to address that. Any interview he has, he speaks to it, right? He speaks to the naysayers, to the people that are doubting him. Can this affect him in a negative or a positive way? What does this look like for him Saturday night? Is he going to have the tunnel vision and be able to tune out all the noise and focus on what's in front of him? Or is he going to have the whole pressure of the world on his back? And maybe that pressure from the world might, you know, pressure bust pipes, and pressure also makes diamonds. How do you think it affects him Saturday night?
Ooh. Oh man, I think he welcomes the pressure. I think until something hurts him, until something hurts Berlanga, he's going to welcome it. He's going to look to counter. He's going to look to use his jab to kind of set up the big shot. And like I said, I think he's going to try to utilize the uppercut between the guard of Canelo to try to keep him off set from coming in too far. These are all good strategies. How does he handle what's coming back though? See, that's always the key. We could always predict the one side. You know, and I like to play devil's advocate. So if I'm going to pick the Berlanga, I also got to look at what Canelo's going to do. Canelo's got to be who he is. He's got to show that this guy, like, look, you can come in here all tough and thinking the way you want to be, but let me tell you, many have tried, many have failed, and I don't think you climbed high enough on that mountain to get to my level. And I think he's going to attack Berlanga. He's going to try to go for the midsection first. He's going to try to attack the kidney area, the lungs. You know what I mean? Slow him down a little bit. Midsection, hurt the abs. Oh yeah. Oh, he's gonna hit them all up in here.
He love to punch in them arms.
Right. Arms. Like he's gonna hit them everywhere. And I think Berlanga's not going to keep his hands up as much as we think he is. I think he's going to keep his hands at a distance where he's able to utilize the jab and come over top with something. So the reason why I say that is because he wants to keep his distance from Canelo. In order to keep his distance, he's got to keep a measurement out, right? So I think he's going to try to do that, but I think Canelo's going to just keep applying pressure. And like you said, does it bust pipes or does it make diamonds? I think in this case, I think it does make diamonds for Berlanga. I think Berlanga really has a really good game plan, and I think that's going to come into play. And I'm calling the 8th round stoppage. of some sort. Lucky number 8. I think I'm gonna go put some money on this. I don't even bet, but my right hand was itching, and my grandma told me if your right hand
Yeah.
is itching, that means you got money coming. So
Money for you. Somebody holding some money for you, bro.
right.
But
So
let me ask you this: is Canelo there to be hit by an
always.
Edgar Berlanga? That's what my question is, because I've seen Canelo get hit, and let me tell you something, man. I question, is Canelo Alvarez coming into this fight respecting Edgar Berlanga for what Edgar Berlanga does? Because he might think Edgar Berlanga doesn't do a lot of things, but there are things that Edgar Berlanga does do well. And is Canelo and Eddie Reynoso taking those things into consideration and preparing for the best version of Edgar Berlanga, or do they just think this kid is way out of his league and they plan on steamrolling, they plan on playing with him? More importantly, do they plan on taking shots from Edgar Berlanga, having faith in that granite chin that Canelo Alvarez has shown that he has probably the best punch resistance that we've seen in boxing today? He's been hit clean and he's always been able to walk through the shots. And I know you've given me scenarios where you feel like you've seen him rock and you've seen him potentially, wobble or hurt a little bit. But I'm be honest with you, I haven't seen it that much. And in the Triple G fight, I saw Triple G really put hands on him, but that was years ago. Canelo Alvarez is a grown man now in his mid 30s. You know what I'm saying? Well, heading to his mid 30s, getting ready. But his 30, how is like 33, 32?
I think he's 30. He's the same age as Earl, isn't he? 33, 34, 34, 35, something like that.
Okay, so somewhere in that range. His aging is a lot different than everybody else's because he has 64 fights. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he got boxer
34,
years,
right.
kind of like dog years. You know what I'm saying? So is it going to catch up with him? At some point, it will catch up with him being in a fight with power punchers. But is he giving Edgar Berlanga the respect that Edgar Berlanga may deserve? And does that work in Edgar Berlanga's favor? And is Edgar Berlanga's strategy going to be able to capitalize off of that? Is Edgar Berlanga going to be a little too boxing, a little too evasive, a little too, and not taking advantage of letting that right hand go every chance he has? Because Canelo Alvarez has been known to throw those shots. I mean, to get hit by those shots. He's been known to get hit by those shots. And I would hate to see Edgar Berlanga not melee enough, not mix it up with Canelo enough, not take advantage of Canelo Alvarez's lack of respect for him and catch him with flush right hand shots and crack that chin. What do you think?
Oh, I love that. So this is what I want to give you. Really strong statement. Recent history. We've seen a come forward fighter, granite chin, nice looping wide hooks, overhand punches, get dominated by somebody that utilize their wings, their jab, and pick spots to make the hits, right? Off the back foot with counters. That is a game plan to beat Canelo Alvarez, even if you don't knock him out. Because we just seen this whole thing happen with El Rayo and Pitbull Cruz. We just seen the same thing happening. Why wouldn't this be a similar walk around with a guy that has now power? And I'm not saying Rayo doesn't have power, because he does, but I think he was a little bit more nervous, and I think we're going to see the nervousness of Berlanga. But we're going to see the difference is, what's up, Donnie?
In the building. Salute Adam Hurley too. Salute right-handed downtown. Salute to Rich. Mr. I respect the belts. Yeah, make sure we get them out there. I seen you guys come in, but we've been going back and forth. I had an opportunity to shout you out. Go ahead.
So what I see is, with that being said, I think if we use that game plan, and we know we have a little bit more, we have a little bit more of a shot, a money shot with our right hand pause on that, and able to throw a nice inside hook, we can possibly put this guy down. And for middle, I can't even say the word, but anyway, the instance that Canelo comes in and he does this, he has 3 openings. How does that jab set up that opening? Do you let him walk in, catch him on the inside? You know what I mean? Do you double up on the jab, come around with the hook on the outside, on the left, because you're expecting it, right? Or do you use that jab once as a feint, use that jab twice as a feint, stick that jab out, and then come over? You know what I mean? When he goes, attack this whole side right here.
Yes,
forcing him later in the fight to drop that arm. then laying up with the headshot.
Opening up that chin,
Right,
slowly
right.
but surely.
So we have
Very
to see
similar, by the way. Very similar. Not cut you off real quick and let you get right back in it. Very similar to what we kind of seen Diego Pacheco doing against Sulecki, but in reverse, because Diego actually got him to bring the hands up by going up and hitting him with the shots, and was able to open him up with a liver shot. So if he's able to work that body with Canelo efficiently enough to have him bring the hand down, then it opens up some opportunities to open that chin up. Go ahead, though. My bad. Sorry.
Oh no, 100%. So I'm just saying that I think these are the opportunities that he has. It's just how does he digress in these plans? How does he accept these things? You know what I mean? How does he believe himself to be warranted? Again, when you're training, you should train for every scenario, and you should put in your head every chase that just got every moment in that fight. He needs to be at one step ahead of Canelo. All right, Canelo's gonna, when he steps with this foot, he does this. All right, I'm watching his motion. All right, he's doing this. All right, when he does this thing with his shoulder, he does that. When he picks his hand up and pick your boots, he's about to throw this. Those are the things we have to look at. Those are the things that we have to be aware of as an opponent and say, okay, now I'm ready to take advantage of that weakness because I know he's going to do this. And if I'm the faster on the punch or the faster here, I got him. That's, I mean, it's all game plan. It's all what his team and them have in store. And I think, like I said, I think he wins. I hate saying that because D Block's a huge fan of our brother Canelo. It's okay. Look, I like Canelo. I told you I don't want to see it happen. I actually would like to see greatness continue and got right off into the sunset. You know what I mean? It's not every time. We just had this last 2 decades ago. So this guy's coming from a decade behind. So I wouldn't mind to see a continuation of that. And right behind him is Bud. You know what I mean? So I would like to see the trifecta. Of course, Bud and Canelo are like kind of simultaneous, but I would like to see it, man. I would like to see the greatness that we have in boxing pave ways for the young fighters, give somebody something to look up to. And I think this would be great for Canelo. But sometimes you do too much, holding them belts, and you know I hate using the word "but," Clay. Holding them belts, not taking on your mandatories, picking the wrong fights on purpose. You know what I mean? That a lot of this is the fan base saying, right? Moving different ways, finding ways to get out of things, and taking advantage of smaller fighters, bringing them up to beat them. This is the one that can catch you. And the reason why I say this is the one that catch you, because this is exactly, there he is, Dr. Boxing Talk, man. We got to get him on the panel, bro. I would like to hear what I already know what he's going to say. He think I'm crazy. But anyway, this is the one that's going to happen right here. This I got a strong feeling that this is the guy that shocks the world. This is the shot fired, the shot heard around the world. And I think this is the one that we're going to be like, wow.
This could be one of the best moments, one of the highlighted moments of 2024.
Right. This is Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson right now.
Wow. Yeah, man. Listen, man. Yes, we are building this fight up, man. We're building this fight up. Boxing needs us to build this fight up, bro. It's this the shoulders of the 160-pound weight class division is on Edgar Berlanga's. The weight of the 168-pound division is on the shoulders of Edgar Berlanga. And we got to wish him all the best and hope he can pull this off. You know what I mean? I'll be honest with you, just the way that Canelo's handled being the champion in that division, you know, I'm not going to kick his back in, but yeah, we could use a new look right now to 168. Yeah. Now, let me ask you.
That freaking flyer. We got to read his chat. He's bugging, man. Freaking flyer.
Yeah, Freaking going to keep it 100. He don't care about none of the extra stuff. Freaking going to say, listen, yeah, that's all nice what you're saying. But nah, bro, this is not what this is gonna be, man. I gotta keep it 100. But I can't fault Freaking for feeling how he does. Listen, man, Berlanga hasn't shown us. I'm gonna be real with you. Berlanga hasn't shown me why he's gonna win this fight. Everything I'm bringing up is boxes that I need him to check for me. He's saying he's bringing these new things to the table that were there before and that he hasn't had to tap into, and I'm hoping he can deliver on that. And if he's able to deliver on that, I want to see how Canelo Alvarez deals with that. Because I'm going to tell you right now, Berlanga has the power. In my opinion, he's going to be the stronger puncher in that ring. That's what I believe. I believe he's going to be the harder puncher in that ring that night. And I know people might not want to agree with it, or, you know, they might feel like, however they want to feel about it, but it's about the delivery technique. How you going to deliver this power efficiently? How you going to open it up? You're not just going to come across the ring, throw right hand and catch Canelo. You're going to have to set him up, and his victory is going to be behind that jab. His ability to be consistent enough behind that jab, set up punches off that jab, like you said, double it up, triple it up at times, double it up, and catch him with shots on the end of those jabs, is his ability to win this fight. Now, let me ask you this question: as much as we've seen Canelo Alvarez in the ring, can Canelo Alvarez sort of, dare I say, try to feel where I'm coming from this, and let me know if I'm going too far, if I'm going crazy, but has Edgar Berlanga been desensitized to adjustments? Has he not had to adjust in a very long time, where his style of boxing has been working? And I'm comparing it to Edgar Berlanga's first 16 knockouts, where Edgar Berlanga did not have to adjust. And I bring that up to say that sometimes we're creatures of habits, and when you're used to things working, we don't work as hard on the other things because we don't see those things coming. Now, if Edgar Berlanga is able to throw him off his game by connecting with one of those right hands, shaking him up a little bit, is Canelo going to be able to adjust? And what does that even look like for Canelo Alvarez to adjust at 168 pounds with a fighter way bigger than him? When he was fighting with a Better Beef Bivol, I said Better Beef Bivol, Jesus Christ. When he was fighting against Dimitri Bivol, he didn't really adjust. It looked like that was a problem he was having, was the ability to adjust. That Bivol was giving him these different looks. He was waiting on Bivol to do what he planned on Bivol doing. Bivol would not do it, and he ultimately just froze up and was just on the ropes with his hands up, eating shots. You know what I'm saying? He was just making sure he didn't get hurt, but I didn't see him adjust. It seems as if he didn't have a plan B, that he just committed to, listen, I know eventually Bivol's going to do what I want him to do. If Edgar Berlanga is just not going to do what you want him to do, can Canelo Alvarez fall short because of his career being lulled into things always working out his way? What do you think?
Wolf. No, doesn't have to fall short. I'll tell you why. I mean, he can, but I don't think he does ultimately. Like I said, there's two sides of this coin. I just flipped it again. I'm going devil's advocate, and I'm going to say what Canelo has is a chance to win this in the fourth round with a hard body shot, where he makes the grunting sound that he does when he throws those hard shots. This man said on stage that I am going to hurt you real bad. You never felt pain like this. So he is giving him his own version of Ivan Drago in a press conference, telling him that he's going to hurt him. Regardless of you trying to break my nose, we'll see. We'll see. And his best voice of, I'm going to break you down, brother. I don't care what you got, what you work on, what you think, how hard you punch. I'm going to break you down. I've been in the ring with guys like Bivol. I know what it is to fight a guy with reach that can punch hard. I know what it's like that to fight somebody that has a little bit more foot movement than I do. Yeah, don't forget, I have foot movement too. The last time I was in the ring and I had foot movement, it wasn't too long ago. The last time that was against I believe it was Julio Cesar Jr. And I showed you how to use when I was using my feet and I was using my movement, and I was able to collapse the ring on him, able to jab him and look lucrative in that fight. And I broke him down. And guess what? I ended up taking his title. Now you're trying to take my title. Now I got to be the defensive. I got to be the stallion. I got to be the Mexican pride. I got to come out here. I'm number one, not only in Mexico. I'm number one in the world. Yeah.
I love what I'm seeing in the chat right now.
When I'm number one in the world, guess what I'm doing when I'm number one in the world? I'm coming to represent Mexico. Viva la Mexico. Okay, that's what he's coming to do. That's what he's trying to say. He's going to make a statement. He's going to go out there. He's going to hit him in the body. He's going to break them ribs down. He's going to break that guard. He's going to hit him everywhere that it hurts. Berlanga's going to not know what to do. Solar plexus right down the middle. Boom, like a baby curled over with a big BB. You know what that means. And he's going to sit there counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What happened? I can't believe this happened. Yo, Canelo wins again. Unfortunately, that's the way I see it playing out. But the way I want the win to go is a whole different side. Because like I said, I need an 8th round knockout. I see the jab coming. I see the double jab coming. I see the hook to the outside. I see the uppercut when you come in too close with that high guard. Boom. Okay. My head snapped back. I'm Canelo. Boom. My head snapped back. I'm Canelo. Okay. All right. Now I'm mad. And guess what? When I'm mad, I don't think. I just try to hit back. And now you're moving left and right. I forgot what to do with that because I don't use my feet anymore. Now Berlanga's got him somewhere he don't need to be. That IQ has been raised, and now we go down. Because then I promised I was gonna break your nose. Here it goes. Bye bye. 8th round knockout Berlanga. Two sides of each coin, Clay. Two sides.
If you guys didn't know, now you do. If you didn't know, yo, shout out to the flags in the chat. Shout out to Donnie D throwing up the Jamaican flag. Donnie said, "Hold up, man! Everybody being international up here. Let me get my little island in the conversation. Hold up now. Wait a minute now. The right-handed downtown Brooklyn said, "Hold the only island that mattered tonight, the only island that mattered this week is this island right here in the Caribbean in this blue water. It's Puerto Rico." Also had to let it be known. Hold up, bro. It ain't just about Texas. You know I'm prideful about my city, but hold on, man. Shout out to my Mexicanos in the building. We holding it down. Canelo Alvarez representing for the #1 face of boxing. You know what I'm saying? In the #1 country in boxing in Mexico right now. I love the international love in here. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it, man. Shout out to everybody in the building. Only this Saturday. J Pitt City said only this Saturday. Hey, bro, that's all he needed from. Yo, shout out to 2 Cents Boxing in the building. You know what I'm saying? 2 Cents in the building, showing love. Always a pleasure to have you here, Queen. We appreciate your presence. She says she's putting a little bread. She might be throwing a little change on something strange on Saturday night. She says the odds are just too much. 1,800. I gotta see how I'm living. I could use a little booze and put a little something on there so I can see a little something back. Get the kids right. You know what I mean? Get the kids right for Thanksgiving. For Christmas.
Vacation. Kids gonna be all right. We going over. I got the 2 Cents. We going over vacation. Matter of fact, we going to that next fight. Is that Tank fight next? Oh, we going there. All right. 2 Cents. I'm with you.
Yeah, Edgar Berlanga putting gifts under the Christmas trees, turkeys in the ovens for Thanksgiving, and putting PS5 games in these kids'
Black Friday. That's around the corner. Look, for sure. For sure. Look.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Look, we can use 1,000 of that on our vacation to gamble some more to make another 3,000. That's gonna be the Christmas stash. We good. I got you. 2 Cents.
Edgar got a lot on his shoulders, bro. Edgar got a lot on his shoulders. He got the whole 168-pound weight class on his shoulders.
He got Ray Davis on his shoulders.
He got Ray Davis. He got Christmas presents on his shoulders. He got Thanksgivings on his shoulder. Listen, man, those odds are too great, man. Edgar Berlanga can win a lot of fans on Saturday night if he's able to do this upset. He makes this upset happen Saturday night. I believe in this chat on Sunday and Monday, we're going to be seeing a whole lot of Edgar Berlanga runs the 168-pound weight class division. All right.
We got a round picker for Rollo Green, 10th or 11th.
Woo! That's it. My Canelo gonna drown this guy in the 10th. Rollo Green's come to take Christmas. He come to steal Christmas.
Yeah, he is.
Christmas.
Salute to everybody. That's what they just said. I don't think you say you were.
Adam really says I'm throwing 20 on it. Why not, bro? Why not, bro? You know what I'm saying?
Under 8. Thank you. 2 Cents.
Throw 20 on it. Under 8. 2 Cents boxing. Let's get it.
You know what the odds is at 8 round knockout? You know what the odds? 1,800, man. Double that. Yeah. You picked the knockout in the 8th.
Let's get it. Right hand down to Brooklyn said it's time. It's fight week, baby.
Oh, you got him in the 6th.
Ain't no more playing no games. Clear about where you stand, so we deal with you accordingly on Saturday evening. We know where to put you. Right hand Brooklyn said, let's go. It's time. It's fight. It's time. Wait, what he said? Let's go. It's a fight. Choose a side. Let's go. No more playing the fence. No more.
Yeah. Well, let me just be clear. Right hand. I'm down with right now with Berlanga. I'm picking Berlanga. Yeah. My point is, I'm a content creator, so I got to give both sides of how I see breaking down the fight. That's just the breakdown. But I told you, Berlanga wins 8th round. I called it.
Yeah, I did the best I could, man. I'm selling this fight. I'm making this fight everything it can be. That's what I love to do, man. That's what this channel's about. We building up fights. We're not tearing them down. No matter what we say, the fight's happening on Saturday. Ain't no reason to do nothing else but find a reason and find a way for these guys to win this fight and make this fight competitive, man. And I think Edgar Berlanga has an opportunity not only to win this fight, because he doesn't have to win it. He doesn't have to win it. We want him to win it. But if he states his claim and gives Canelo Alvarez the biggest challenge Alvarez has had since Better Beef Bivol, that speaks volumes to who he is and speaks volume to Edgar Berlanga's next fight at 168 pounds. And will that be a pay-per-view fight? Will he be must-see boxing? Can he do that without winning this fight? I think he can. But winning it would definitely make the statement a lot clearer. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Shout out to Drummond for Life in the building too. Salute, King. How is Berlanga's condition? Drummond for Life. He's up in Colorado. He's running in Colorado. His conditioning should be A1, and I think he understands that. Look, Edgar Berlanga is going to have a high output of jabs and punches to win this fight. He's not going to. He has to know they're fighting in Las Vegas, man. The judges ain't going to be his friends. He should be looking to not go to the 12 rounds and win no
decision,
no cards, no decisions. He should know he has to at least put Canelo on his pockets at least once or twice in this fight to consider winning a decision. He has a lot on him. He knows what he's facing. I think his condition is going to be A1.
And again, when you watch tape, what did you watch? What I tell you? You watched that Caleb Plant fight. Caleb Plant was putting hands on him for the first 6 rounds. Guess what happened? He burnt out. And Plant continues to burn out because he doesn't do road work. And by the way, shout out to Caleb Plant because he actually looked like he came in shape. It looked like he'd been running.
That's a segue. Bro, we might as well segue because that's why I want to talk about him, bro. I want to talk about him, man.
Shout out to Caleb Plant.
Listen, Caleb Plant. Listen, I'm talking about potential fight of the night. It's possible. Yep. Caleb Plant, Trevor McCumbee, don't sleep. The two white guys might steal the show. They might steal the show. You talking about there's a little bit of bad blood there. McCumbee's insulted Caleb Plant's honor, said that he's not committed to the sport, saying that he doesn't do it, you know what I mean? Saying that he's not his cardio and his conditioning is to be questioned, that when it comes down to those later rounds, he's going to give up. He's throwing that Canelo loss to him. He said he gave up against Canelo Alvarez. He said he didn't get knocked out by Canelo. He gave up. It was too much. He said he got something to show him. We're going to find out on Saturday, right? Let's not forget. Caleb Plant, 2 fights ago? What was his last fight against David Benavidez? With a fight right before there, was it Andre Dirrell? No, not Andre Dirrell. Anthony Dirrell. Yeah, it was Anthony Dirrell. He put him to sleep. Beep, boop, beep. Left hook to the body. Check left hook to the chin. Boo! Caleb can punch, says Breadman. Breadman says Caleb can punch. And he seems like he's coming in to make statements. He's bringing up Canelo Alvarez. Trevor McCumbee has not lost a fight. No matter how anybody wants to discredit that man. They want to discredit him, say he's not him. He's undefeated. And he's got a decent 75%, something like that, knockout ratio. He not playing with dudes. He throwing them shots. He want to do something. He trying to make America great again.
He's got that snack pack. What's wrong with Snack, 2 cents? Snack be working.
He trying to do it. And Caleb, for sure, 2 cents. That's a fact. Caleb does got that snack pack. I think we have an opportunity. Listen, Trevor McCumbee is going to try to make this fight as dirty as possible. And I don't mean dirty like breaking the rules, but he's going to make it. He's going to make Caleb work. He's going to test that conditioning. He doesn't believe in Caleb Plant's conditioning. He doesn't think Caleb Plant can match the conditioning. Doesn't.
Bro,
I had to stop that
look, right. You see how he walked in there too, right? McCumbee don't look like he playing around. He look like, look, I'm gonna come in here like, and it's funny. Listen, I don't want to say this to be ridiculed to Ryan Garcia, but he looked like he coming in there to miss weight on purpose, bro. He definitely looked like he coming in there. That dude don't look like he lost an inch of weight in training. He just looked like he just been lifting weights. You know what I mean? The whole time. Because he was when they did the press conference, he came in there looking like the Macho Man. He just came in there holding his baby, looking like the Macho Man. I'm like, yo, this dude ain't even trying to lose weight, bro. We 3 days apart. What is going on here for the weigh-in? Like, is he really trying? You know what I mean? I'm telling you. Yeah, it is. Yo, salute, brother. That's my boy. You know what I mean? But yo, I'm telling you, this dude don't look like he trying to lose weight. He look like he gonna try to come in a pound over two, or he gonna just make it, and he gonna try to balloon up, bro. Keep an eye on McCum.
Shout out to Doc.
Keep
Shout
an eye
out
on
to Dr.
McCum.
Box talking, bringing in the stats, man. You ain't lying. You right. You right. He said, man, McCumbie's last 3 opponents have 30 combined losses.
Oh, I ain't
Plant better bring that Darrell shovel back out for Buddy. No doubt. He better come out. Caleb Plant better come out with the roses and the tulips. He better come ready to plant the garden, man. This is an opportunity for Caleb Plant. This is an opportunity for Caleb Plant to look real good, man. This guy is going to push it. He's going to be there to be punched on. He's going to be putting pressure on Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant's going to have no choice but to show out, man. Show out. Not going to be you know what I mean? It's going to be a fight that gets to make a statement. This is an opportunity for Caleb Plant to make a big statement, is what I'm saying to you guys.
Oh, man. Don't
think about it. This
don't
fight,
bring Rolly fighting up yet. Let's get there 2 cents when we can. Please, let's not talk about the Rolly fight.
Yeah, Caleb has an opportunity to really have the fight of the night. I'm telling you guys, because McCum is going to bring in. He's going to be there to be punched on. He's going to be there to. This is about the dance partners. This is about matchmaking. This is stylistically. This is a great fight for Caleb Plant. I'm telling you guys, because this guy thinks he's David Benavidez. This guy's seen what happened with him with David Benavidez and seen what happened to him with Canelo Alvarez, and he's going to come and try to push the pace. He's going to try to overwhelm Caleb Plant. This puts Caleb Plant in a great position to counterpunch, to move around, to show his skills, to have one of the prettiest, nastiest fight of the nights on that card. Remember, I told you guys, right? Telling you, fight of the night. The ingredients are there. The ingredients are there for potential fight of the night. And look, I'll go even further.
So dope.
Fight of the year candidate. Fight of the year candidate. Styles make fights. Styles make fights. Don't sleep. Don't sleep. Don't cheat yourself. Treat yourself. Yo, chill. Everybody chill. What's that all about? What was that all about? Relax. Everybody got to relax, bro. I'm telling you. Listen, bro. Charlie Murphy got to relax. I don't know what that was all about. I'm telling you guys, potential fight of the year candidate, potentially the fight of the night, steal the show candidate. Damn what Charlie's talking about. Damn all that shit he was doing over there. Rest in peace, Charlie Murphy. But that wasn't the right plug-in. There ain't nothing funny about what I just said. That's real talk right there. You know what I'm saying? Potential fight of the year candidate. The Styles make fights. They dare to prove. They know what they're facing, by the way. Caleb knows. Caleb is going to come fighting hard. And both of them have something to fight for. When you got people who fight the way Trevor McCumbee fights, and he has something to fight for, this is opportunity to be in the conversation at 168. David Benavidez and David Morrell have moved out division. 168-pound division is open for big fights, for the fighters that are going to make the big fights. Open for somebody to be Canelo Alvarez's next opponent potentially, or the winner between Edgar Berlanga and Canelo Alvarez's next opponent. Everybody knows what's on the line. Caleb Plant knows he's right there. He wants to fight Edgar Berlanga next, I'm sure, as well. So he's going to put on that performance, guys. Fight of the night potential, man. Fight of the night. Let's get into this gentleman here, Danny Garcia.
Ooh, swift.
Danny Garcia, brother. Back at it again. Been gone. Last time he fought about 2.5 years ago. Last time we saw Danny Garcia in the ring, he fought against Jose Benavidez Jr. He gave a decent little performance. He won the fight at the end of the day, but I don't think he showed nothing that spectacular. Like, it was nothing in it where, like, oh, Danny's back. I don't think Danny Garcia showed himself something spectacular, which is why he's taking so long to come back, right? He also had a little bit of a breakdown in the ring that night. He had a little bit of a breakdown. He's dealing with some mental health issues. He's dealing with some personal issues. Now he's taking, supposedly this is him taking the proper time off. He's falling back in love with the sport of boxing. He wants to be back in the sport of boxing on a high level. He's going in there on a fight that they were trying to build. In all honesty, I believe the rumor was that Danny Garcia and Erizlandi were supposed to be fighting on that first card of the year. That's what the game plan was supposed to be. For whatever reason, we don't know why it didn't get put together. When Danny Garcia got asked, he said he was waiting on a phone call from PBC that PBC didn't call him yet. So this fight works for a minute, and that's what kind of why Danny Garcia hasn't been active, because it was kind of spoken that this was going to be the next fight. During that time period, Erislandy has fought 2 times, right? He's a champion. What is he holding? The WBA championship on the middleweight division. But I think Ray's going to add to this and put some more perspective on what I'm about to mention right here, is to say that Danny Garcia is supposedly fighting a catchweight fight with Erislandy. And I don't know if that title is going to be on the line. What is Danny Garcia trying to do this turnaround? Is this for the money, or is he actually trying to make a run to be to be a champion in another division? What say you?
Okay,
Ray?
so with me digging around, it's very possible it can still be a catchweight fight. But here's the funny thing: where do I see Danny ranked at? In the same sanction that is Ariel.
Erislandy.
Hold on, Zaggy Erislandy Lara holds the title. He is under him. He is number 9 in the sanction. He is a middleweight fighter. This fight says middleweight on his bout. There's no catch weight, anything like that being said. Like I said, if it is at 157, it still comes into the weight of 160. You're over the weight of 154. That moves you up to the next weight. So that just means that you're just catching the weight there, and the title could still be over the line because you are not crossing that threshold of 160. So, with that being said, we got a fight on our hands, and it looks like a title. I don't know. I don't know if which way I want to go with this, because I think we have the never aging Lara getting out there, showing that he can still box, changing into a whole new chapter of his career, doing different things that he didn't do early in his career, boxing a little bit better, footwork a little bit better, keeping the distance and staying safe. You know what I mean? Safeguarding his chin and the shots he absorbs. Where you got Danny Garcia hasn't been there, and he's got to get his feet wet. He's got to get used to being hit at a new division. This is a whole bunch of messy sloppiness that's going to come together, which looks like it's going to be a fight that we're going to be questioning at the end of it. Like, yo, what just happened? We did not see this happening. What's going to happen? I don't know. I'm not the ref. I'm not the judge. I'm not the guy that predicts the future, even though I just predicted the future. I'm just saying this is going to be a fight that we just going to be like, this is an ugly fight. And it's going to, and whoever makes the fight ugly, whether it be Danny making it Lara fight his fight, or Lara making Danny fight his fight, is going to win. That's how we're going to see this fight play out. And I'm calling that because I don't know who's going to win this fight, because I can see Danny. Danny punches hard enough to hurt Lara. Lara has the age against him. Danny is also a great boxer. You know what I mean? He's a good technician. And then on the flip side, Danny gets hit too much. Lara has a long range in his punches. Lara's become a smarter fighter. Lara's the champion. Which way do I go? We'll find out.
Well, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm leaning towards Erislandy Lara to walk away with this fight. I think he's acclimated. He's home. He's into his second chapter of who he wants to be. He's a power puncher now. He's sitting on his punches a lot right now. I think he's arguably a better boxer than Danny Garcia is. You know what I'm saying? I think that amateur Cuban style that he brings to the ring is something that he can always lean back on. But he is choosing to sit on his punches a lot more now. Danny Garcia has just not been consistently active enough to be competing at the highest level of boxing, in my opinion. I think we're going to find out, you know what I mean, on Saturday night, what it looks like for 2.5 years outside of the ring and jumping right back into a weight class division higher than where you were fighting at before. I wonder if he's going up in weight based off of him growing and being a bigger fighter, or has he lost the discipline to work out and cut the weight and fight at the proper weight class he should be in, which probably should be 147. Let's be honest. He's not a big dude. You know what I'm saying? Now he's gained the weight and he fought at 154 with Jose Benavidez Jr. I don't think that performance was all that great. It was kind of lackluster in some ways. You know, he was dealing with mental health issues going into that fight. I wonder what he's been doing for this 2.5 years to see him going up in weight right now. Again, when I see fighters like him that I don't think really need to go up in weight, I tend to believe that they're going up in weight based off of the fact that they don't want to cut weight no more. They're not committed to the sport. He's not being disciplined. He's not eating correctly, working out correctly, doing the things he needs to be the best fighter he can be. This is going to be a lot of money for him. I'm going to believe that this is going to be a good amount of money for him. I don't think he would come back into the ring because against whatever anybody might think, Danny Garcia has made a lot of money in boxing. He's been pretty successful making a lot of money. So he's well off, and he's not going to come back for low dough. And if he was going to come back for low dough, I would expect him to be fighting. If he was coming back for money that was low, you would think that he'd be legacy driven. But I don't think that's what he's looking to do. I think he's looking to make money. Erizlandi just comes from a disciplined background. You know, that Cuban boxing, he's not going to adjust. He's not going to turn into a driving around in Lamborghinis and balling out and having a good time. He's going to be who he's supposed to be. And who he is has gotten him into being a champion at 160 pounds. I think Danny Garcia might just be out of time. I think he might just be out of time. But look, we're going to see Saturday night what he's going to bring to the table. He's either going to get this second win in his career, or in my opinion, the coffin closes. The doors close in on him, and that career is done with it. He moves on to this next chapter. We'll see.
You just told him to start singing Hall Notes, bro. I'm actually, you're at a touch, I'm at a time.
That's what I think, man. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Salute to Bruce Gas Boxing Jazz. Yo, Bruce, I saw you on the Hardcore Boxing with the Old Timer show.
Yeah, Sunday.
Then want to shout you guys out over there, and shout out that show too. Shout out to J Hardcore Boxing and that show over there. I've been going over there lately, listening to them build over there. They've been showing me some love too. I appreciate the love I've been getting over there. But shout out to you, Bruce Gas Boxing. Let's see what we got here. Adam Hearn. Even Crawford had to ring Russ against Madrimov because causes fighters to be hesitant. 100% Adam Hurley. That's a 100% statement right there. And we're going to see if Danny's going to break. Look, every now and then you got a fighter who breaks the mold, who shows you that ring rust don't mean nothing, that you are who you are. Mm-hmm. But I would say more out of 10 times, well over 5 times, ring rust is real. Well over 5 times, I think ring rust is over real. It's real.
Especially when you're moving up a division. You just came from moving up from a division. So, yeah.
Look at all these rumors are surrounding me every day. Yeah. Look at all these rumors surrounding me every day. Hey, I just need some time to get away. Look at all these rumors. One more. Hey. Hey.
Yo, I almost started doing the other version of that song. Look at all these roaches. No, I'm just
No doubt. So, guys, let's talk about this. We've broken down this card so far. We got one more fighter that I want to talk about on this card that I think is another underrated. 2 more? Well, I definitely want to talk about Stephen Fulton.
Right, that one.
And then Rolly? We're going to talk about Rolly for real? All right.
Listen, 2 cents asked for it, so it's last on the list.
All right, man. Let's talk about Stephen Fulton. Who's he fighting again? I can't remember the guy's name right now. Top man, you want to go?
Carlos. Hold on a second. Why are you making me look this stuff up? Carlos Castro. Yo, he sound like he definitely sound like somebody that could fight.
No, definitely. What's his record again? Because I remember he's a puncher, right?
30-2. Carlos Castro's 30-2. He has and I'm not ashamed to say that I'm using
Yeah. No, you gotta use it. I think the 2 losses.
He's got 2 losses, 1 by KO, and then he has 14 KOs. So he has like a 46% knockout ratio. He's 1 inch taller. He has a 1 inch or half inch in reach of Steve Fulton. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's gonna be something, man. We're gonna see something here. The thing is, I think Fulton actually. I think this is a fight that's set up for him to win. I hate to say it like that, No,
it is. That's what I was gonna say. This is set up. This fight is set up for Stephen Fulton to make his way back into boxing in a strong way, and I think they're putting Stephen Fulton in that conversation at 130. They want Steve Fulton to be the catalyst to get that division wound up and get it going. And when he leaves 126, it leaves it open for somebody like a Bruce Carrington to kind of take his spot and start to run through the division. I think we're going to start seeing Bruce Carrington aggressively running through that division, knocking down championships, getting big fights at 126. The big fights, him and Ray Vargas. Is it Ray Vargas? I want to say his name is.
Yeah, you're right.
Him
Ray
and Obasi and Rafael Espinosa. Big fights at 126 for Bruce Carrington to ultimately set up the game to have him and Monster Inoue crashing out in that division at some point. So I believe that Stephen Fulton, this fight right here, is a big stepping stone fight for him. It gets him going, but his real destiny is 130. And what's going on 130 is way more interesting with Stephen Fulton in the conversation. What say you?
I agree 2,000%. I think Stephen Fulton actually he's going to have his hands his work cut out. His work cut out for him. This is not going to be an easy fight. The guy came off with 2 TKOs and a solid unanimous decision. Yes, he was stopped in the fight previous to his first TKO and with a KO, him being KO'd, and in a fight before that, he was stopped by Louis Neary. And not stopped, but won a loss in a unanimous decision. So he definitely has potential to make this fight interesting. He has a lot of 12-round fights, so he is a good boxer. A lot of them came from wins. He only has the 2 losses. 2 losses were within his last 6 fights. So this is just something that's recent. Fulton just came off a loss, and Fulton is trying to make his debut at 126. Yes, his debut. This is his first fight since he lost it in a way at 126. His first fight returning, period, from 122, because he said he was making a comeback, and they put it. I don't know if he's been put on ice or he just decided to take some time off, which I heard that he did. It looks like he cut the tail off, so you know what I mean. Maybe Samson doesn't need that hair for him to win. So it looks like he's about to come in at pause about, by the way, the tail thing, because we're gonna say something. But anyway, it looks like he's looking to go in there and he's gonna make something happen. The funny thing is, he's got a date. He's gonna move up to the new division. He's trying to make an impact. I think this is a great step up fight because this is one of the bigger fighters in the division. This is one of the guys that can box. Not even a guy that can come in there and knock you out. He's a guy that can box, and his style is going to be very cliche to what Stephen Fulton brings. So I think Cool Boy Steph is going to dominate this fight the way he does in his previous fights. I think we'll see a lot of the Brandon Figueroa fight that we've seen. I think we see that fight again. Only reason why is because I see Stephen Fulton getting a little late start in this fight. I think he's going to try to fill out his opponent too much, Carlos Castro. He's going to try to fill him out too much to try to balance and gauge things. And I think that goes into the 3rd and 4th round. Maybe even putting him behind in early rounds because of how he lost to Inoue. So be wary of this fight. But I think Stephen Fulton pulls it out. I think he gets a UD. I think he outboxes this guy, and I think it's clear to say that he'll be up in the next division where he feels comfortable and maybe getting a strap at 130.
No doubt. I agree with you, man. I don't know. I think we're going to see Stephen Fulton without a doubt become way more reserved. I mean, after getting your chin cracked like that by Monster Inoue, I'd have to say that has a lot to do with why it's taking so long for him to come back, right? But I thought I was going to yawn, but I didn't yawn. But I think it's going to be some adjustment. I think the ring rust might be there a little bit. Stephen Fulton is a high level boxer, man, and he's coming out of that gym out there in Philadelphia. You know what I'm saying? He's got that team around him. I think he's back with ambition. I think we might see him take his time a little bit.
Hold on, 2 cents. We getting the Rolly. Hold on.
Yeah, we're gonna get
getting on Rolly.
Let's go see. Been staying up too late with y'all. Nah. Chill. 2 cents. We gotta talk about Rolly still. We gotta talk about Rolly. Don't go. But I think that we're gonna see him make adjustments. We're obviously all looking to see how did that Monster Inoue fight affect him. Like I saw Rollo put up there that he's damaged. That's what we're gonna get. Those are the questions we need to get answered. You know, this is his first loss, and it was a big loss for him. Granted, against pound for pound the best fighter in the world, if he's able to process that in the right way, then he should know that nobody's holding that against him, and that we're expecting him to step up and have a big show on Saturday. Oh, excuse me, it's late. Oh, my bad. Excuse me, guys. I want to put you out of sleep with this contagious yawning, but.
Right.
I think that it's going to be more important for him to get through this fight because it's going to help us gauge what to expect from him at 130 pounds. Because 130 pounds is waiting to see. I think 130 pounds is right there, missing maybe a Stephen Fulton. I don't know what it's missing, but it's missing that fighter. It's missing that dancing partner to be there to make that division just come full circle.
Right.
We're seeing O'Shaquie Foster and Casey about to have their little rematch to kind of get that ironed out to figure out who's going to be holding that WBC title together at 130. You see Navarrete sitting there. He's getting ready to who's Navarrete? He's getting ready to fight right. He's been get ready to fight Oscar Valdez, so that's going to pan out. We see Lamont Roach. There was rumors of him potentially fighting Tank. You know what I'm saying? But I think those rumors pretty much have been put to rest. I'm pretty sure that's been kind of communicated clearly that he's going to stay there at 130 and try to do what he's supposed to do down there. So Stephen Fulton coming in there kind of brings that whole entire situation together and makes that division interesting. So this fight happening for him on Saturday night at 126, his last fight at 126, supposedly, according to what he said, is going to be a real important fight, not for what's going on at 126, but how we're going to look at 130. Going on after that, what we're going to look at for Stephen Fulton. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. What does it say, Rollins?
What you got? Because I was about to answer the question for that one of those questions right there, but it's about Stephen Fulton. So my question was to answer for him about the damaged goods thing is, I don't think Stephen Fulton's damaged goods. I just think Stephen Fulton hasn't met the competition in that division. I think that's why he's moving up, because when he's making these fights in these other weight classes, it's like there are great fighters there, but he's one of the bigger fighters in the division. Most of these guys are like 5'3", 5'4". He's at 5'6", 5'7". So him fighting in those divisions, I think he's possibly 5'8". Yeah, he's small to a regular welterweight or those guys, but him being at that height is basically being a taller, bigger fighter. That means he's losing a lot to fight and stay at those lower weights, which was 122, now 126. Moving to 130 would be suitable for him because he'll be right where he needs to be. Him fighting someone, would will change everything. Now, where I don't see damaged goods is because he fought a great fight against Figueroa. That was a tremendous fight, and that showed that he had gut and spirit. I think going from that fight like that, which could be draining and hurtful to your career, and Figueroa after that fight, I think moved right up. He didn't even wait. He moved right up, where Fulton should have followed suit. He should drop the belt, but he wanted to unify, go undisputed, and I think he followed up with getting another title from there, and then I think he went from there to fighting Inoue, because Inoue had two of the belts. He wanted to fight that Matalis fight. He didn't get that fight. Topelis, I'm sorry. Topalis. There you go. Topalis. Yeah, I got to get these things right because his name is Martin Topalis. So yeah, he wanted to fight that fight. He didn't get that fight, so he moved accordingly to where he wanted to go. He moved up to 126. He wants to test the waters to see how he feels up there. He actually went up there to fight Raymond Ford. That was his goal, to go up there and fight Raymond Ford, get in the way there. And the whole thing is, he lost on the fact that he traveled. The fight that he was supposed to fight initially was delayed. So you figure you're prepping, you're in camp, and then you go overseas, you get delayed, and now you gotta wait. So now all that time you just spent making weight, doing this, doing the weight training, you just hurt yourself. Then fight gets pushed off for a month, I think it was 4 weeks. You come back, and now your body is not in the right shape that it should have been, because now you're staying in the form that it was. Then you go over there and they tell you can't use. You start noticing things with the gloves. You start getting water. That you said the water was different. They kept trying to give you this water, and you kept drinking the water, and you started feeling dizzy. I don't know if that's true. That's just the statements, right? So if that was part of the case, we got a lot of issues. I'm not making excuses. We got a lot of issues that came to play. So let's just get rid of the excuse part. Let's talk about the facts. He had hellbanger fight with Figueroa. He had to fly overseas, then flew back. Because remember, he already left. He went to Japan and came back after training. They canceled the fight. Came back, had to train again after he's already trained. So you can imagine how his body feels. He just went through torture to go over there. Then he had to come back, and then he had to go back over there again, and 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 then make weight and do all these things. He didn't even look right. He didn't even look right in the press conferences for that fight at all. So there was definitely something there, and I think we'll see a better Stephen Fulton at a higher weight, and he's already said he was trouble making weight. I think we'll see a better Stephen Fulton in this fight. And I think as it goes to 130, we start seeing something that we should have seen out of him in the smaller weights, maybe some power or something, where he becomes this top talent at 130.
Yeah. We'll see what he does, man. Shout out to Donnie D for the $2 hollow. Said don't forget the Davis brothers November 3rd. That's actually November 8th, Donnie. But for sure, man, that's gonna be one of those cards. I think that's potentially Top Rank's best card of the year getting put together. Just the way that card is set up with Abdullah, with Megatron, with all the Davis brothers, as you mentioned, with Brian Norman defending his welterweight title on that card as well. That's going to be a real good card. We'll talk about that obviously as we get closer to the card. We just had their press conference. They just had their press conference recently. It was pretty, cool. You know what I mean? The city came out and showed the Davis brothers love, in specific Keyshawn Davis. The mayor came out. Bruce Smith, I think, came out and showed love. So yeah, man, we're definitely going to be looking forward to seeing how that card pans out. Thank you for the color in the chat, man. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Now let's talk about Rolly Romero. Let's get ahead and get into Rolly Romero because I don't want the night to get away from us. I want to open the panel up a little bit later, but I want to talk about this Anthony Joshua Daniel Dubois fight. Cool, blame it on my 70 years. You good, brother. We got you, man. Let's say here, I want to talk about this Anthony Joshua Daniel Dubois fight. So let's talk about Rolly Romero and who he's fighting. We already talked about it, Ray. I'm not that interested in the conversation. Rolly better show out. The guy who he's fighting should not win this fight. This guy should not win this fight. And if Rolly loses this fight, if Rolly goes to a decision and wins a close decision on this fight, I think PBC needs to start reconsidering. Rolly probably needs to go down to pro box. You know what I'm saying? After this fight, I know people want to. Rolly's been riding the train of this Gervonta Tank Davis situation where he did run it with Gervonta. He was throwing a lot of shots. He looked like he was doing decent until he got stopped. But ever since that Gervonta Tank Davis fight, he's been going down. I have not seen nothing impressive from him. He barely made it past Ishmael Barroso. He didn't make it against Isaac Cruz. He tried to stall out between the Ishmael Barroso and Isaac Cruz fight and try to say he had injuries when him and Ryan Garcia were supposed to be coordinated. He played himself in the money he could have probably made with Ryan Garcia if he would have put that fight together. Went ahead and fought Isaac Cruz. Isaac Cruz became a star for piecing him up. You know what I'm saying? All over the ring, had him doing the dance, the stanky leg all around the ring into the.
He thought it was Easter, bro.
Yeah, I must have was. And now he's gonna go and fight this dude who nobody knows and nobody names, and I could look him up, but I don't feel like it's worth it for me. Maybe Ray wants to do it.
Oh, you talking about Manuel Jaimes?
Yeah, that guy. You know what I'm saying?
You got the video? You got the video? You want to show him what he? No, don't do that.
Nothing. I want to get to
don't
the
do
juice.
that.
I want to get to the juice. I don't believe
it. Yeah. That dude, listen. He actually, so funny. He reminds me of Rolly Romero, bro. Like it's like they're gonna be fight. He's gonna be fighting a clone of himself. And then when they asked him what he thought, you should have heard the answer he gave it. You see the pressure today, right? You see the answer when he said, "What do you think about fighting somebody like excuse me."
It was a pressure today? I missed it. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so they asked him, how does he feel about Rolly Romero? He was like, first of all, I want to give I was like, oh my goodness, what they clone this dude? Like, what? Yo, it's like Rolly fighting Rolly, bro. And it's going to be hilarious. I tell you, this might be, I can't believe it even made the main card over Stephen Fulton. That shocked me. I'm like, bro.
It didn't shock me because Rolly's still riding that wave. People think Rolly
I don't care about the wave, bro. I'm talking about the opponent with Rolly should have not made that. Bro, I'm telling you, it's Rolly versus Rolly. Clay, you're going to laugh. And if this dude beats Rolly, that dude need to hang up his gloves. For real.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I think Rolly looked his best against Tank Davis. That was the best version of Rolly I've ever seen, and it hasn't been nothing comparable to that. I don't know what that means. Every time you see the microphone get in front of Rolly, it's weird. He's looking this way, he's looking that way. He's trying his best not to answer the question. He's deflecting. He's trying to sound witty, but he's sounding. I mean, he sounds you know what I'm saying? He has his little scenarios, but he's always looking like he's hesitant to speak. I know he's had, I know Rolly Romero didn't talk until he was like 8 years old or something like that, or 7 years. I don't remember what the age was, but he didn't talk his whole life until like later on, you know what I'm saying, in his life. So he probably has some mental blocks, situations that he's dealing with. He's an articulate person when he's speaking seriously and he's properly assessing things. But when he's always playing games as of late. Every time a microphone gets in his face, he doesn't want to speak, but he wants to play. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. Yeah, you're right, Central. He definitely changed coaches. He left Bullet, fired Bullet, went back to his old coach with the short leg, you know what I'm saying, and said that guy was, making it more true to his boxing, because he's an unorthodox boxer. He's coming from another discipline, I think judo or something like that. He didn't box his whole life. So, he's one of those boxers who's kind of like a new age version, like that new kind of boxer who don't got that pedigree, that amateur pedigree, or he never boxed when he was really a child. So that's what we see in the ring with him. Let me see here. Boxing Scene is reporting Brian Norman on that same card with Keyshawn. 100%, Donnie. Brian Norman's going to be fighting on that card. He's going to be the co-main event on that card. Yep. It's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a good card. It's going to be a good card. I'm telling you guys. For free. It's going to be another top rank, great card. I mean, I don't want to say great because people are going to jump on me like, what great card is top ranked? No,
it's the only, and believe it or not, it's the title fight. It's the only title fight on that card at all.
Yeah, and Abdullah Mason's fighting on that card. It's going to be a good card.
Right. It's his last 8-round fight though. Johan Vasquez, I think. Yeah, this guy doesn't.
Right.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Look like somebody. Never mind. I'm gonna say that. Good luck, Johan. Good luck. That's what I'm saying.
So we talked about this Anthony Joshua, Daniel Dubois fight a little bit last night. I don't know if Echo is still here. Echo, you still here? I don't know. I know we're running late, so Echo might have.
Yeah, he got to go to sleep. So you figure it's what, 5 a.m. over there?
Right. We started
kept
late.
him up a long time.
Yeah, we kept it up for the debate. For the debate. But yeah, man, this Anthony Joshua, Daniel Dubois fight has got fight of the year written all over it. Fight of the year written all over it, man. I think you did a great job a couple months ago when you said this reminded you of a Lennox Lewis versus Hasim Rahman, right?
Was it Rahman Lennox Lewis?
Yeah, that's what it was. Lennox Lewis and Hasim Rahman, and I definitely, yeah, that's what it was. But I see it being that. You don't see it being like that?
No, I mean it could be. I mean it's crazy because I think AJ's might be sleeping on this dude. I think when we watched that presser, I mean that I don't want to say the presser, but that little interview they did at the same table before they took their pictures outside the steps, or maybe that picture was before, and they were sitting there and they were doing that little conference. There he is.
Yeah.
And they were doing that interview. I seen something I've never seen. Actually, I've seen it in men before. But when that man gave him that look across that table, it looked like his whole demeanor changed. And I'm telling you, I promise you, listen, man, listen. Dangerous Danny Dubois put the fear of dad about to beat his child with the belt in AJ that day. And the people can say what they want. Maybe AJ's not afraid. But I tell you, when he started walking across that table and that dude stood up and said, "What?" He gave him that look, Clay. I think you noticed it too. You know what I mean? You know that look. And when he gave him that look, he was like, what did I just walk into? This guy's serious. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to promote the fight. This dude really would take me out. Like, it just looked like it was a whole different chemistry. I'm pretty sure, you know what I mean, after whatever, it's going to be a boxing match. And once they get in the ring, it's going to be what it is. But I need to see. No, I did not. I did not see the face off.
Yeah, I'm going to speak on it too. Yeah, man. I'm telling you, AJ not scared at all. AJ's ready. AJ is talking all the right ways for me. He's respecting Daniel Dubois' pedigree. They have experience. They've sparred each other. So he's familiar with Daniel Dubois. He knows what to expect. He knows not to play with Daniel Dubois. He knows it's going to be a very big challenge for
Good.
He's been properly preparing for Daniel Dubois. He's got him and Ben Davidson have melted. Ben Davidson's a great like he's good at watching fight videos and preparing for the fighters. Remember, Devin Haney hires Ben Davidson to study the fighters that he's about to fight for him to give breakdowns on the best way to attack the fighters. Ben Davidson is really a high-level trainer that's just really young and doesn't have the track record yet, but he's definitely one of those top trainers in boxing right now, especially for heavyweights. He's acknowledged that Daniel Dubois comes with a strong family. Father is very involved in his career. You know what I'm saying? Don Charles is passionate about Daniel Dubois in his career, and Don Charles is very familiar with Anthony Joshua as well, and Anthony Joshua knows that Don Charles brings that edge to the Daniel Dubois team. I think AJ is hyper focused, super focused on making this fight happen. This is going to be a fight that Daniel Dubois can make a competitive fight by being disciplined. He's going to have to be disciplined in this fight. This is something I have not seen him show in his last couple of fights. I have not seen him be disciplined. I've seen him just war through, weather a lot of storms, showing that he has a lot of punch resistance. I don't know if he wants to play that same game with AJ. I'm still leaning towards AJ to win this fight, but I think it's going to be a very competitive fight because I think Daniel Dubois is athletic like AJ as well. He's not just big for no reason. He's athletic. He's cut weight for this fight. He's not as big as he was in his last fight. I think he's going to be really focused. I think both these guys are going to be focused, and I think this fight is going to has the elements to be fight of the year. I definitely don't see it going 12 rounds. I think somebody's going to get stopped. Don't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked to see AJ get sit on his pockets once or twice in this fight, but still be able to, you know what I'm saying, show his heart and make it happen. Daniel Dubois probably gets sit on his pockets because his last fight with Philip Ergovich, he wasn't moving his head that well off the line. He was getting hit with a lot of straight shots. And those shots coming from Anthony Joshua, I don't think is what he wants to get hit by. So let's see what they come together with. Sancho Roney, 100%, brother. He said AJ laser sharp focus. Both of them fight of the year. 100%, Sancho, 100%. This fight, 96,000 plus people have bought tickets to come see this fight. England knows. The UK knows this fight. That's one thing that I'm giving UK props over fight fans over here. They know when the fight's going to be good and they're going to show up for it. They understand. They watch boxing for boxing's sake. They're not really, you know what I mean, on that same type of energy that a lot of people on this side are on. They know. As soon as that fight got made, we knew when Daniel Dubois beat Philip Ergovich and we found out Anthony Joshua was next, you saw it in Anthony Joshua's face. He knew it. This is going to be a fight. This is going to be a fight. He's seen it on his face. The matchup is a matchup made in heaven for the heavyweight division.
Okay. Listen, man. I'm going with Zoe Zhang.
Okay.
Zoe Zhang told the world that Anthony Joshua is susceptible to getting cracked in the chin. The guy that's going to be standing in front of him has power. And he comes forward, and yes, he takes punches to the face, to wherever he got to do, and he still walks through him. I'm looking at Balrog for the win, by KO.
It is what it is.
Which one of them is Balrog?
I don't know. I don't know who you're picking. I don't know.
Salute.
Salute to Pooh the Kid TV. Says, let me see, read here. I hope it's something good. I'm about to put you up on there. I hope you're not going to clown. Let's see. New to the channel. I've been watching lots of boxing content, and your chat is first. I'll drop down. In the respect you have for fighters, sports is what I love to see in content. Salute, Claymore. Thank you, Pooh the Kid TV. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you, man. I hope you subscribe, and I hope we don't let you down, man. We love boxing here. We talk it as much as we can, bro. We talk it as much as we can. Big fight. Sure. TV. Is that Pusha? You got Pusha T? Oh no, that's just his face. Okay, I'm like, yo, what doing? Pusha up in here? Push up.
Mr. T.
Boxing fan. Central Roney says Dubois. You got Dubois winning it. Listen, it's there for him.
I got a corner today, Clay. I got a corner today, bro.
What's up?
Listen, shout out to everybody supporting me in my picks today, man. You know what I mean? I'm telling you.
No doubt.
Actually, I ain't telling nobody. I'm not telling anybody. I'm just making recommendations.
Central, who you got? Central, who you got?
He got AJ. He think AJ gonna win. I do too. So if you say that, I just said ball roll. I don't know who this ball roll gonna win because they both look like ball roll. You got
Yeah,
to pick which Street Fighter ball roll they in though.
I was talking about what bro AJ. You got AJ
Oh,
winning. Okay, Dubois beats Usyk. He can beat AJ. No doubt, J Pitt. That's another thing we got to talk
see,
about that when we're talking
in my
about
corner. Thank you,
is
J Pitt.
is that is
I
that
got a
is
ball
that
roll.
is the
Thank you,
past
Central
12
Brother.
months is the past 12 months that these fighters have had, right? You go down the record. I'm just going off the top of my head. Anthony Joshua has fought Jermaine Franklin, then he fought Robert Helenius, then he fought Otto Wallin, and then he fought Francis Ngannou. Now, activity-wise, AJ killed it, right? He fought 4 times in a calendar year. That's very impressive by AJ. He was one of the most busiest fighters last year, right next to a Tim Tszyu, who was also very active last year. So he's been busy, but the caliber of fighters that have been in front of him, quality-wise, who's really been challenging him? You know what I mean? Those fights were kind of like tailor-made to allow him and Ben Davidson to come together, right? To melt together and come with a strategy and get comfortable with each other in the ring. We got to remember during those fights, we saw him go from his original trainer to Robert Garcia, from Robert Garcia to Derek James, from Derek James to where he's right now with Ben Davidson. So him and Ben Davidson found each other, I think, around when, right? Was it it was the Otto Wallin fight. That was their first fight together, right? Otto Wallin.
Right after he fought and dropped Herkovich.
Helenius, when he beat
Hellenius.
Helenius,
After
that was the best.
Hellenius, he fought whoever fight was after that. I'm sorry.
That was Otto
Was
Wallin.
it Herkovich? That was Alawalin? Yeah, that's when he went with Ben Davison. Yeah. That was
Yeah,
his fight back in England.
right. And then he went Francis Ngannou. That was also a Ben
Right.
Davidson. Both those fights ended in knockouts. You know what I'm saying? Well, actually, those 3 fights, right? He knocked Helenius clean out. He stopped Otto Wallin, right? He didn't knock him out, but he stopped him in the corner and he knocked out Francis Ngannou. So, but those fights were kind of
Oh, I'm just reading Ryan. Yo,
right.
I'm with you, Ryan. I think that'd be fight of the year. You right, man. Man. Damn,
That's what I
Clay.
said.
How
I
many
told you I
candidates? How
fight
many?
of the year.
But you just
That's
said
what
your
I've
other
been
fight
the
was
whole
fight of
time.
the year. Which fight is fight of the year for you? You got like 6. You
Who,
got a
me?
list.
I said
Yeah, you got.
candidate. I said
I know,
candidate for
I know,
fight of
I
the year.
know, I know.
There's
I'm
no
just
fight
saying
of the year
candidate.
yet.
Right,
Right
right.
now, we've
I
got
know that.
Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury. We've got Virgil Ortiz and Serhii Bohachuk.
Okay.
We have this fight that's potentially fight of the year, right? And we also have I thought it was going to be Brian Norman and Jerome Boots Ennis, but that didn't go through. I thought that would have potentially been fight of the year. But then we also have another fight of the year that I think is there to be had in the conversation is I ain't gonna lie to you. I
Lauren
think
Garcia. Was that
hell
what
no.
it is?
No.
Hold on. It was on that card though, right? I'm trying to remember.
I think Caleb Plant and
Okay, Prime McCumbie. Okay,
and
that's what it
Tyrone
was. I knew it was somebody on that card. Jeez.
and I also think a sleeper is going to be Keyshawn Davis and Gustavo Limos.
That might be a really good fight. I'll tell you what's going to jump in there too. Pedraza and
You think so?
Hitchens.
Besides Hitchinson? We'll see. That's going to be on Hitchinson. I know Pedraza is going to be down. So, but fight of the year, Virgil and Serhii definitely still in the race, right? Right, Pooh?
Mm-hmm. Right.
No, those fights are there. So this fight is right there. This AJ and Dubois fight is definitely candidate, has the elements to be candidate for fight of the year. You know what I'm saying? 100%. And of course, at the end of the year, we have that rematch between Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury again. So we'll see if they're able to put it together. Yeah, Keyshawn's a dunk, Central. That fight against Bravo.
It's gonna be a good fight with Keyshawn. I'm telling you, we got. So the way I look at it is, you got the last 2 opponents for Keyshawn put into one. He about to fight.
Right.
He about to fight. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be a really good. We're gonna see him get tested this time. We definitely gonna see some tests. I wouldn't be surprised if he walks out of there with a cut, a bruise, or something swollen, because it's gonna be a really good fight. You know what I mean? And shout out to Keyshawn Davis for really stepping on stepping on the gas a little bit and performing these last couple of fights,
Challenging
man.
himself.
Yeah, he's definitely bringing his name. He's definitely moving himself up in the rankings, and rightfully so, in the right way now. In the right way now, Clay, not before.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, it is what it is.
I'm gonna change my mind.
No, definitely. Look, bro, that's what it's all about. That's what
I'm just making fun of certain statements.
The dynamic duo of Clay and Ray, such an interesting, you know what I'm saying, mix. Because look, bro, one thing we ain't scared to do is see something. Look, we get excited to see new shit. I like to get proven wrong in boxing, because if I'm getting proven wrong in boxing, that means exciting shit is happening. You know what I'm saying? If Keyshawn Davis was one person and now he's somebody else, the reason he's somebody else to you is because he proved himself. We seen him in that Medway fight. That was a crazy fight, bro. That's the kind of fight he should prove himself in. You know what I mean? A fight like that. You know what I mean?
That's another fight we need to talk about too. When you move the needle, let's get on that Shakur Cadona fight, because again, you got people. I hear you, Ronnie. I hear you, Ronnie. But we're gonna talk about it. Yeah, and then we're gonna bring the panel together.
Yeah, we definitely gonna open the panel up in a minute. And look, I saw Leonard Ellerbe and Eddie Hearn on camera together being interviewed about Gervonta Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson, and what an interesting interview it was. And let me tell you, that interview had me feeling like what I've been saying. The timing hasn't been right for that fight yet. Tank has not sent no offer to Shakur Stevenson. And more importantly, Leonard Ellerbe confirming the fight between Tank and Shakur is going to happen no matter what, with Eddie Hearn in the camera, and Eddie Hearn speaking towards being part of that fight, and Leonard Ellerbe not shutting that fight down. The communication is there. The communication is there. They're cordial. I mean, don't put all your eggs in that basket, but it was a very interesting interview today. Very interesting interview. And if anybody knows about the relationship between Eddie Hearn and Leonard Ellerbe, if you saw the interview I saw today, I believe it was Sean Zattel. Shout out to Sean Zattel, had the interview. Matter of fact, I know Sean is cool. I mean, he don't know me like that, but I've seen him let people use his content. I'm gonna find that interview.
Shout out to Pooh. Another good message from Pooh, bro. That was dope.
What he say?
Yeah, he likes boxing, bro. He's a boxing fan. That's all. We're gonna leave it there.
Let's see here. Let's see.
We're gonna go find. Now, what you looking for, that interview?
Yeah.
That's what's up.
This was a super. I thought it was on Just Do. This was a super fight, super. There it is, right here. Argue over Gervonta Davis beating Shakur. This was 3 hours ago. Hold on, I want to see the. It's not personal. Eddie Hearn let ever meet in Vegas. Yo, listen, bro. Look, bro. Leonard Ellerbe tells Shakur Stevenson, Eddie Hearn, he can't fuck with Tank. We are feeling the love, you know what I mean? Yo, they're together. They're talking and having a good time. This is a good sign. When I'm telling you, I'm about to pull this up right now. Right? You seen it?
No. You throw it on the screen.
All right, hold on.
Silverback over there talking crazy, huh?
Let me see. Fire interview. Hold on a second. Share screen. Let's go. Leonard Ellerbe. And is this it? I think this is it right here. Share. I want the Sean to tell. I'm not pulling up the Fighter Hub, because I know Fight Hub they be acting funny with their shit. This is the one right here. Fight Hub acts funny with their shit.
Edgar Berlanga, in the ring versus one another. You know, there's rumors of Tank potentially fighting in November. Shakur scheduled to fight Joe Cordina. Are we ever going to see you two get together and make that fight happen? The fight that everybody wants to see.
Well, Tank will be back before the end of the year.
He's very
looking at a couple guys right now, but he'll be back before the end of the year.
As it relates to the Shakur Stevenson fight,
Tank wants him.
He will have the biggest moment of his career on Saturday night.
All about the timing.
I feel that in Las Vegas,
a two-fight plan with Shakur.
As a sizable favorite, but
Joe Cordina,
once the bell rings,
These
Tank
two men
against Shakur
will
is one of
collide,
the biggest
and
fights
all
in
of
the
that
sport.
will go away.
I think Tank
With
is so
Canelo Alvarez
exceptional.
having
It's
main
going to take
event
someone
here
as good as
in
Shakur
Las
to
Vegas
give
on
him
next
a real
Independence
fight.
Day
And
weekend
I love
for
that fight.
over
I love that
12
fight. Tank.
years. So this
can't
was
beat
in
Tank.
September
I
of
disagree.
2012.
I
Main
disagree.
event
You
here
can't
at the
fuck with
MGM
Tank.
Grand Garden Arena.
Can't fuck with Tank.
Against
Why not?
Tank
Tank loses
Lopez.
rounds.
What a big
Leonard,
win that
Tank
was
decides to do
for
what he wants to
Canelo,
in
and
certain fights.
continued.
We can
Following
you have a
year,
big bet on that fight.
blockbuster, then against Floyd winning Mayweather.
I think Shakur's the man to beat.
Shakur cannot fuck with Tank. He's
Now,
a very
once
good
again, here
fighter.
in September
A lot
of
of respect for him,
2024,
what he's done in the
retaking
ring.
Mexican
Got a good
Independence
team
Day
around him, but he
weekend
can't fuck with Tank.
against
Can't
very
beat Tank.
I disagree.
Can't beat
power
Tank.
punch.
Leonard, your point when it comes to making a big fight with Tank is you feel like the opponent has to draw a certain amount at the box office. How close or how far away is Shakur from that moment?
I don't want to get into those details. I mean, obviously, he's won every fight that he had in the ring. But the business is always different. You know, we all know what Tank brings to the table. Tank, every time he comes out, you get this. You know, so he's going to keep on doing what he's doing. Inevitably, those two will meet in the ring.
Looking to provide
it will happen. It will definitely happen.
To Danny Garcia,
I agree with
you. A three-division
world
champion.
His fire's
Before
been
that,
dampened for a long time.
For the interim WBA Super Middleweight Championship of the world, Caleb Plant, the former IBF Super Middleweight champion,
fight on ESPN
that's
this
the guy
year.
who has tested his skills against the world's
but they
best.
didn't want to tell everyone that he does big numbers.
But in there against
We keep
David
building him,
Benavidez,
and he comes up against a
knockout
commercial
after
giant
Terrell, the
like
highlight
Tank.
reel knockout of the year back in 2022.
All-American fights,
also
and one of the biggest fights in boxing.
I mean, he does got Mason Cameron buzzing. He's got some of the mainstream media starting to talk, whether it's good or bad.
I haven't had.
Hearing their
He's a good fighter.
Yeah. Of the week. And begin the pay-per-view, the always entertaining Rolando Romero, the former super lightweight champion of the world, taking on Manuel Reyes.
He challenges himself. There's nobody.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, now Las Vegas, get ready as this man needs no introduction to the world.
Okay.
What say you? What say you?
Okay. Well, I'm looking at the chat. Look, let me tell you something. My question is to you, anyone in the chat, anyone, y'all can say yes or no at any moment. Do y'all want to see the fight with Tank and Shakur? And do you think Tank beat Shakur? There's a two-part question. Matter of fact, let's start with that question. Do you think Tank washes Shakur or beat Shakur in a bad way? Let's start with that.
Let's say one more time. Say one more time.
Yes. Okay. You got one. Do you think Tank runs through Shakur, hands down? Ain't no. Okay. Yes. No. Yes. Yes. Okay.
Yes. No. You're asking. You're asking everybody.
I'm asking the chat because I can't wait. I can't.
Wait. Say the question again so I can hear it. Does Tank run through Shakur?
Yes. Yes. Eventually. Okay. So here's my point on that. So I can deal with the eventually. I like the yes no thing, but here's why I say this. Right. The question is, why do you want to see the fight then? Why does the fight have to take place? If he runs through him, what is the point of them fighting?
Well, the point.
Hold on. No. If you think he's going to beat him and dominate him, why do we need to fight? There's no point. If you want to see him fight, there's a plan. That means in your head you think there's a chance that Shakur can beat Tank. You understand what I'm saying? If you don't think there's a chance, you don't even want to see that fight.
I think when it comes to the Shakur and Tank conversation, this is more, as far as the fans wanting to see this fight, this is more of a rivalry going between fan bases.
I understand.
Right? The fan bases are going to go head up on this situation because they want the Tank fans want Tank to shut up the Shakur fans for forever, even if it's they believe that Tank is going to run straight to Shakur because they have high regards for Tank. They think Tank is the best fighter pound for pound in the world, the face of boxing. They're real fans of Tank. The Shakur fans feel like, you know what? Shakur brings those intangibles that Tank hasn't had to deal with, and they believe he's the one who can dethrone Tank Davis. I think if the Tank fans are saying that they believe he's going to run through Shakur, I think those are genuine responses. I believe the reason the fight needs to happen is because of the other fans. They want to shut the other fans up just off the strength of that. Even when you hear somebody like my brother Hoodrich talk about it, he already knows who's going to win these fights as far as he's concerned. He knows how these fights are going to turn out. But what he wants to do is shut up the fans who keep on bringing up these fighters as people who could potentially bring up Tank. I don't think they're being disingenuous. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying that. I'm just asking a question. The question is, it goes on. See, there's a couple part question here. So my thing is, and the reason why I asked that question, because I could have just said, hey, do you think Tank could beat Shakur? That's a whole different question than do you think he runs through Shakur, right? Mm-hmm. If you said, if they were like, nah, I don't know if he'll run through him, but he'll beat him, I could accept that better, because then I'm like, okay, that means that you think Shakur is going to get some type of problem, some type of issue to Tank where it's going to be a good fight. But if you think that Shakur Tank just plows right through him like a snow plow, you know what I mean, then it becomes crazy. And I get what you're saying. Yeah, it was, but that's not where I was going with it. That's why I was like, okay, I understand what Clay's saying. I'm just trying to get to a point, because it's not narrative driven or anything of this nature. I'm just saying that we put certain things in our mind already. And if we think the fight is going to be not up to expectation, and what I mean is it's not going to live up to what we want. Styles make fights. Shakur style can neutralize Tank's power. I agree. That's what I wanted to see. And the reason why, and that's not because I wanted to see it, it's because I see that if you're a boxing fan, you want to see the best fight the best. Here's a prime example of why I asked that question. How many people thought that Sugar Ray Leonard had no chance because of Marvin Hagler's power, boxing ability, and everything that came with it against Hagler? Multiple. But they wanted to see the fight. And when that fight happened, I don't care if you say Hagler was waited out, whatever the case may be, Sugar Ray came up from 2 divisions to fight that man. And he beat him. And it took 8 years to make that fight. Okay, it took time. We're about that same time frame. We're about that same time frame for Shakur and Tank. So what I'm saying is, instead of letting the fight happen, because me as a boxing fan, I just want the fight to happen. I want to see the results in the ring. Those are fights that I don't want to put out there in my head of who's going to watch who or who's going to beat who. 50-50, I like what Jay Pitt said. I'm sorry, it was Texas, too many people with daggone names. It wasn't Texas. It was, Jonathan 97, because I have to make sure I get him right. He just got the Texas flag. And salute Rick Timms. And when so him putting 50-50 was like, okay, I could see that, because he's looking at, there's a way that Shakur can win. There's a way that Tank can win. That makes it interesting. Even if you said 30-70, 40-60, that makes the fight close. That means that there's a chance. But when you say wash or beat or dominate, what's the point? In my opinion, is why do you even want to see it? At that point, that fight doesn't need to happen. And I get it, because I think every Tank fan believes he can beat everybody. Rick Timms, my guy right there, says Tank can beat everybody from 140 down. He says it all the time. He has the confidence of that, and I can respect that, because that's what he believes. But my thing is, can anybody make Tank go in his bag? That's what we want to see, and I think that's what the fans want to see. They want to see the adversity. They want to see him climb out that hole that he may get put in one day and have to fight. And that's where everybody wants to see these fights. Ultimately, if you look down inside and you search through that hate, excuse me. You search, I don't want to sneeze on camera, bro. It's gonna get ugly. Hold on, I'm about to sneeze. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. I don't know. Whatever. If I do, I do. I'm about to sneeze. Hold on. Okay. If we look through all that stuff that we hear and what we thought, like that cloud, you know what I mean? That's what I should say. We look through that cloud of dark cloud, and we actually think about it. We want to see that fight, because we believe there's a chance that that's going to be one of the best fights we ever seen. And that's what we want to see at the end of the day. And we have to put that in our hearts. I'm not trying to convince people to pick and not pick their fighters. I'm trying to put it in their mind is, if we want to see that fight, it's a reason why we want to see that fight. And that's why we're saying that. That's all, Clay. See, I'm a good guy. I'm pretty sure we got people that agree with me in there. What you think, Clay?
I think that everybody has their reasons for seeing the fight. I think everybody comes together at the end of the day and wants to see the fight. I think you have people who want to see the fight because they think that Tank is going to show everybody that there was never no competition, that he was going to run straight through Shakur. They believe that in their heart, that he's going to steamroll him. You got people like myself, you, and other people like Ryan Frazier, who know that stylistically this fight can go in many different directions. This is going to be a competitive fight. We get to see the best version of Tank. We get to see the best version of Shakur because the dance partners make the fights. The matchmaking makes the fights. Styles make fights. We understand that. We want to see that. Hardcore boxing fans are looking at this from a certain point of view. Casuals are looking at this at a certain point of view. But ultimately, it brings everybody. There'll be casuals, there'll be hardcore boxing fans, all the same inside the building watching the pay-per-view. You know what I mean? I don't think that necessarily, I don't care when people say they think Tank is going to railroad or steam right through Shakur. I think that's a fan who wants to see the fight so that Tank can do that. But you got a lot of fans who want to see Tank knock people out. So if they think he's going to steamroll Shakur, then they want to see Shakur get knocked out. That's a great fight for them to see. There's not going to be no losing any credibility of the fight based off of knowing what the answer is. Knowing what the answer is it going to stop a casual fan from watching the fight? Knowing what the answer is makes a casual fan wants to watch the fight because they like to see their fighters do what their fighters do. They like to see Tank do what they want to see Tank do, which is knock people out. Probably the biggest fear that a casual fan will have on this one is that Shakur runs around the ring too much and makes it to where Tank can't do that. So, there's just different people who have different reasons. I don't care one way or the other what people think, as long as, they want to watch boxing. Bring on the energy of why. Because I could tell you right now, somebody like Hoodrich doesn't think this is going to be a competitive fight. He thinks that Tank is going to handle him, and that we're putting too much weight on Shakur's boxing ability. Like he agrees Shakur has a high boxing IQ, but he just feels like Tank is just in another conversation, just like Leonard Ellerbe just did right now with Eddie Hearn. Just being clear that, listen, man, nah, bro, he got nothing for him. He can't fuck with Tank. He cannot beat Tank.
I got that.
At the time, he ended that. At the same time, he ended that with that fight has to happen. Tank wants Shakur, which is a reason why I said to people, don't worry about Shakur's market value. Stop putting so much emphasis on his ability to sell pay-per-views. That fight happening has nothing to do with that. What it has to do with, Tank wants to fight Shakur. That's the only thing that matters. He wants to fight Shakur, and because of that, the fight is going to happen. You believe in that, him going and having a pay-per-view at sometime in the afternoon because he's in Saudi Arabia and college football is playing and all his values being taken away here and all this stuff. The only thing that will off or derail this fight from happening is if Shakur potentially takes a loss. And even then the fight can still happen. But outside of Shakur taking the loss, nothing is going to happen to derail this fight from happening. Him signing with Matchroom is not going to derail this fight from happening. Him fighting Joe Cordina is not going to derail this fight. Him fighting William Zepeda is not going to derail this fight. This fight is just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger because if Shakur is able to give those performances that he needs to give against a Joe Cordina, if he's able to give those performances against a William Zepeda, it's going to build the anticipation up of Gervonta Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson fighting even more. And as we can see in that video, which I thought was a very epic moment between PBC and Matchroom, to see Leonard Ellerbe, who I know I've seen in videos literally talking about fighting Eddie Hearn, literally putting hands on him, saying if there was a boxing match, literally going from that to for us to see them evolve into speaking cordially about a fight between Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Tank Davis, selling it to the whole entire boxing space, and even ending that interview in showing love, dapping each other, and and hugging it out shows the ability for things to come together when it comes to putting Gervonta Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson in the same ring. Period.
Right. So you're telling me I can't be like the guy that's trying to tell everybody, yo, and I'm pretty sure everybody feel the same way I feel when I say this. When we watch the MCU, when we watch that whole Avengers thing, we seen the first one, they won. Action packed, but they won. That's Tank Davis. We seen the second one. Oh, they won. Action packed. Dope. We seen that third one. What happened in that third one, Clay? Come on, tell me about it.
Well, tell you about what?
That Avengers, right? What happened? It was a cliffhanger. Whoa. Oh, hold on. They were supposed to win. Yo, half the world just got disappeared. What's going on? Now we got to
Right.
see the fourth one. You know what I mean?
Right.
So what I'm saying is to build the suspense. I'm just saying as a fan, what I like to do is I like to build the suspense. I always like the mystery. I told you, I play devil's advocate on every fighter who's fighting each other. Because if I don't do that, I don't build the suspense in the fight. And then I'm sitting there and I'm watching and I don't want to watch it. I can easily say, yo, this guy definitely, I can easily say right now, Berlanga going to get washed. 95% of people in the world will believe that, right? Oh yeah, he's gonna get watched. Canelo gonna stop him easy, blah blah blah. But then I can also play the devil's advocate and be like, yo, Berlanga got a chance. He punched, blah blah blah, right? And then that brings something else. Now, me saying that doesn't do anything. Now, when I start breaking it down, like we just did earlier tonight, and I broke down the fight with Berlanga and I broke it down with Canelo, I can see multiple phrases, as Dr. Strange said. There's multiple ways this can go, but there's only one chance Berlanga wins, and I see that opportunity. Berlanga has to do that. So that's what I'm trying to get at, and it's the same thing with a Shakur Tank fight, a Liam Parle Devin fight, or a Tank versus whoever, even Ryo. You know what I mean? I can see possibilities of things happening because I have to play that role in order to get that victory. You know what I mean? In my head and see how it's going to go. It's a very good fight. I see two ways of that fight going as of right now. I see a couple ways of it being won, but I see the challenge exactly. I see the challenges, and that's what I want to do. Is I want to see I want to see it come together first. Once it comes together and it don't go the way it's supposed to go, if the score start running, I'm like, yo, man, that's crazy. I'll never, you know what I mean? Yo, Tank, you know what I mean? I might have a whole different outlook on this guy. I might have a different outlook on this guy. And I think they're both great fighters. I want to see the fight because I think they're both great in what they do. And I think styles make fights. And I think we can get a rehistory of 1986, I believe. And it was in Detroit or Atlantic City, if I'm not mistaken, of that fight with Hagler and Sugar Ray. I want to see that fight again. You know what I mean? I want to see that action again. I want us to be stuck in our seats sitting there. And if you're not at the show, you're in your seats. You know what I mean? Sitting there like, oh, man, yeah, that was good. Yo, he just outboxed him. I can't. It was a close fight, but he outboxed him. Because we all think, some people think Hagler won. Some people think Leonard won. And that's what I want to see with this fight. I wanted to go to the bell. I wanted to be extravaganza. Because that's what boxing needs. That's what we're missing. And as long as we have these spirits, and a lot of people thought Hagler was going to destroy Leonard. A lot of people thought Leonard was going to just outbox Hagler and not even get touched. It was an extravaganza. And at the end of the day, that's what I'm trying to explain. That's all I was trying to build. I was trying to build that into a whole atmosphere of that. And I'm glad that some people are like, yo, I understand where you're coming from, Ray. You know what I mean? And it has nothing to do with everything, but it has to do with something. You know what I mean? And that's what I think boxing needs today. And I think that fight's going to bring that. That's what I see. I think that fight's going to bring that same energy.
Yeah, no doubt. I definitely agree with you. I think that I think the fight's gonna, for me personally, yeah, man, that's what I'm looking to see. You know what I'm saying? That's what I believe is gonna happen. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I guess I'm adding to that and saying that's one way to see it, but then the other way to see it is the people that are saying that they see it the other way. You feel me? And that's they're not being disingenuous or you know what I mean? They're not that's enough for them to want to see the fight. It's enough for them to see their guy steamroll Shakur. You know what I'm saying? They want to see that. That's why they're going to be in the building. That's why they're ordering the pay-per-view. That's why they're watching the fight, is to see that. Whereas other people like me and yourself and probably like Echo and hardcore boxing fans or people who are just more into seeing the sweet science manifest into something great are probably going to relate closer to what you're saying. You know what I mean? But no issues with the casuals who just want to see Tank do what they think.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that, Clay. I really am. I just, like I said, I was just, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to change somebody's hearts and spirits and what they believe in at all. I just wanted to build some suspense. You got to build suspense when you talk about stuff, Clay. You don't build the suspense, the people don't love it. You know what I mean? You got to build it. Yo, y'all clap for the brother, man. Y'all built that up. Y'all like that breakdown. Y'all was like, yo, that's dope. Look, Leonard surprisingly did look rusty versus Hagler. You did. You think his last fight was 3 to 4 months before that? 3. Damn near 4 years. Yeah, he was. Yep, he was out. He retired. I think that fight took 8 years to make, man. That was crazy.
For sure. So, but yeah, man, it was good to see. It was good to see Leonard and Eddie Hearn on the same page. It checked a lot of boxes. By the way, where I predicted Leonard would beat Hagler. None of my friends agree with me. You know, I believe Echo would be the one. Echo would be the one. I think it was great to see them on the same page in the conversation, being cordial with each other, talking about the Devontae Tank Davis Shakur fight, knowing that Eddie Hearn represents Shakur Stevenson and that Leonard Ellerbe represents Tank Davis, seeing them conversating about how this fight is definitely going to happen. I did see there's still some tension there. There's still some indifferences there.
Yeah, it was a comfortable situation for sure. Yeah.
Leonard Ellerbe definitely was, trying to kind of like take control. He didn't want Eddie Hearns to take control of the situation. But hey, look, Eddie Hearns played his position and understood, listen, this is better than where we were at before. You can tell Eddie Hearn was willing to sacrifice and be like, I'm not going to let my ego get into it. I'm going to let you shine, do your thing. Because what's more important is that we're able to speak like this and hopefully speak a lot clearer and a lot better when it comes to putting Shakur Stevenson and Tank Davis in the ring. Because at the end of the day, the reality is Leonard Ellerbe, Eddie Hearn is not part of that conversation yet. You know what I mean? He's not part of that conversation yet because Shakur Stevenson has 2 fights with Eddie Hearn, and he has to extend or re-sign with Eddie Hearn to put Eddie Hearn in that conversation between of Shakur Stevenson and Tank fighting. You know what I mean? He has to earn that spot. So Leonard Ellerbe showing a willingness to work with Eddie Hearn helps his argument towards re-signing Shakur Stevenson and becoming part of that ultimate negotiation, which is putting Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson in the ring together. So I thought it was a good look. And one thing's for sure, Eddie Hearn confirmed what we've been saying, that nothing's going to stop this fight from happening between Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson. Tank Davis wants to fight. Shakur Stevenson wants to fight. They both hold belts in the division. They are going to fight. This whole entire narrative is getting pushed that Shakur Stevenson has taken steps away from fighting Tank Davis by pursuing opportunities with Saudi or with Eddie Hearn or anything like that. It's just all narrative bullshit agenda being pushed for whatever reason. People just want they just want there to be a reason to kick in Shakur Stevenson's back, to make it a story. And there's no story there. Shakur's out there building his brand, trying something new, getting some money while he's doing it, and there's nothing wrong with it. And Tank Davis is not fighting Shakur right now because the timing isn't right, because they want to make the rollout a different kind of rollout. And if Shakur can build some attention for himself and build up his market value a little bit, this only benefits Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson's fight. It does nothing but help the fight be a bigger fight. Everything else is BS. You know what I'm saying? That's straight up. Everything else right. There. Okay, there was one fact.
I'm sorry. You're gonna read it? Go for it.
There was one factor with Leonard that beat Hagler. Tell me how do the mandatory goals? Tell me how do the mandatory goals? Meaning, how do you become someone's mandatory? What do you mean by that?
Winning in rankings. The sanction bodies do that. First, if you really want to talk about it, it's Echo will touch on it too. First of all, you gotta go to wherever your mandatory, whatever sanction you want to fight in. You can't just be boxing and whatever the case may be. I mean, you can box and not take a sanction, I guess, and they'll offer you a spot in the top 15 or top 20 of their sanctions. You still got to pay your fees to wherever sanction body you go to. As you fight and you become formidable and they see value in you and they see you becoming somebody, a star or somebody that can take the title or a challenge, they start moving you up the ladder. If they feel that you're number 5 and you're a better fighter than number 1, or number 1's tied up, number 3's tied up, number 2 is just came off a fight and you're number 5 and number 4 is right in front of you, but he's injured, then you're that guy and you can become that mandatory at that point. That's all. It's all good.
Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, I hope that answers the question because that's pretty much
also I forgot to enter. You can win the title eliminator, become the interim title. All those things can put you in position. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah. Pretty much everything he said. You know what I'm saying? I hope that answered the question. You know what I mean? But yeah, the link is in there. We're gonna be up for a little bit longer. You know what I'm saying? If any, we got Echo. Echo's here.
Echo, I knew he wanted to get up. He's been waiting. He's been up
Echo
all
has arrived. Echo in the building.
Hey, how you doing?
You
What's up,
doing
Echo?
good? How you doing this evening? Morning.
I've just been sitting in the background listening, not saying much, but everybody's been making some good comments. And you
active chat tonight, right, Echo? Like everybody seems to be like really participating tonight and
very engaging. Yeah, everybody's engaging in the conversation. It seems, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
Go ahead,
Awesome.
Though,
And you two have both made some great breakdowns. I've really enjoyed listening.
Thank you.
What did you think? What did you think of the Leonard Ellerbe, Eddie Hearn? You know,
I haven't watched it, but it is good if they've done that.
Right. Well, I played it on you. I don't know if you had the opportunity to take a look at it, but
I will do it. I will do at some point.
Yeah, there was a lot of hope. You know what I mean? There was a lot of. It was like, okay, if this can happen, then it just made the Gervonta Tank Davis. One thing they definitely did was they sold the Gervonta Tank Davis Shakur Stevenson fight to the public again. It's like they re-brought it up. A lot of people, I don't know why, you know, a lot of narrative-driven nonsense, but a lot of people were painting a picture that this fight had lost some steam. That Shakur Stevenson's move with Eddie Hearn going to Matchroom, putting these fights together, somehow deflated this fight. And they put the blame on Shakur, saying Shakur ducked Tank, and Shakur is doing everything he can to not make this fight happen. And, you know, we're trying to push this out to say this is nonsense. Like, this is making the fight bigger. This is giving Shakur Stevenson the opportunity to build his market value up, to show himself off audience and ultimately make this fight a bigger fight. But you got narrative driven content creators that want to paint something else. But I'm going to ask you think now? I think, well, first of all, what did you think before we seen this video of Stevenson's move? Hearn, how did you think that affected the Tank Davis fight one way or the other?
They're trying to build it up. They're trying to marinate it. That's all they're trying to do, and make it more so everybody's anticipating, it happening at some point. But the thing is, people are saying, well, Tank will win so easy and Shakur will win so easy because of certain situations. But nobody really knows this.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Shakur can beat Tank.
Right.
Because they both can beat each other. That's a fact. Because Tank's got the ability, he's got the punch, he's got good boxing ability. And Shakur's got the ability to beat Tank in the way that he fights, if he fights the perfect fight.
100%.
It's just being who they are. But the thing is, Tank always loses rounds, and people say, well, he's doing that to how can I put it?
Like set it.
I don't think that's always true, because he didn't do that against Santa Cruz. He didn't. Santa Cruz he just made a mistake of just repeating stuff, and that double right hand was writing on the wall. It was. The way to beat Tank would be having variety. Same as Canelo. If you fight Canelo with the ABCs, when I mean ABCs, I mean attack by combination, jab, cross hook, jab, cross uppercut. These are textbook boxing techniques. But when you throw a hook, then a jab, that's not in the book, and that's why Mayweather got caught by Cotto on the ropes, because you notice when Cotto was throwing some combinations, he'd open up with a jab at some point. He would catch Mayweather on the ropes, because it's an orthodox combination,
right?
A bit like a right hand, then an uppercut. They're not textbook. Textbooks are like this. That's a textbook combination.
Right.
If I do this like that, then I throw a jab after my hook. That's not textbook, and that's what catches people out, because you can't really plan for these things.
Right. That makes sense. That makes complete sense.
And that is why I think Canelo can get beaten by that kind of approach. A bit like Bivol, he didn't attack the same way all the time. He kept him guessing.
That's it. And I agree with that. I think that was a downfall of Frank Martin against Tank, right? Was the fact that he became readable, that his patterns became repetitive, that Tank started to realize how to force him into position to where he needed to put him in order to finish him. Shakur brings that ability, that IQ to understand that and give him those different looks. And and even Lomachenko as well, by the way, even when Tank, you know what I'm saying, reads it and he thinks that's what it's going to be, Shakur and Lomachenko have the ability to change, to not do that again, to move around, realize, to give him different looks. And it's not to say that Tank will lose, but it's to say that as fans, we'll get to see Tank adjust to this. This is not something we're used to seeing him stand in front of in these fights. We're not used to seeing him stand in front of fighters that are going to make him think, make him move differently, make him adjust. And look, in my opinion, the longer it takes for Tank to get in front of these kind of fighters, the more difficult and the better chance a Shakur has at beating Tank. The more Tank gets, it's the same thing I said about Canelo and Edgar Berlanga. I said, listen, people have their decisions and their mind made up on how this fight goes. But I'm going to tell you like this. Canelo's been very successful with the way Canelo fights. He hasn't changed. Canelo's not the type of person who's making adjustments and moving differently because the fighter's doing this. He pretty much just stays himself and waits for you to walk into the crowd. Waits for you. He presses you. He knows how to move around. He keeps his hand high, so he's ready to absorb punches. He's ready to absorb shots. He'll move his head off the line from time to time and punch while you're punching and catch you. But what happens when he gets into a fighter that changes that and make him have to adjust? He's not been adjusted so long, he's going to be rusty at adjusting, if that makes any sense. Like, adjusting is a skill set. Like, it's like something that you do because you're Floyd Mayweather was great at adjusting because he was always adjusting.
He's the best in the last 25 years for sure.
Of adjusting, right? Like, he was able to be like, oh, you fighting this way? I'm going to fight that way. I remember Floyd Mayweather saying, I don't even watch videos no more because I just already plan on adjusting. I'm going to see what he's doing in that fight, and I'm going to adjust accordingly to what he's doing to beat him. Well, Canelo hasn't had to do that. I don't see him adjusting per se. I see him pretty much comfortable in doing what he does. Tank has adjusted, but he's adjusted because he felt like adjusting, because he's felt like fighting on the back foot, because he's felt like coming forward, because he's felt like doing all the things. What happens when he's forced to adjust? What happens when what he planned on using and working isn't working, and now he has to adjust to this new look in front of him? I'm assuming he can adjust because he's shown the ability to do it, but we haven't seen him have to do it yet. And that's going to be interesting to see him do that.
I mean, the thing is with Canelo, he doesn't make glaring mistakes. He doesn't, over block. He deflects. He deflects on the inside, the outside. He deflects down. He deflects up, and his head changes, directions. I mean, there's only three locations you can put your head. Is 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and 6 o'clock, and variations of that angle.
Mm-hmm.
And really, that's what bobbing and weaving is, really. And if you notice, when he fights people that fight with the ABCs, the attack by combination, the textbook stuff, he just slips, bobs, and weaves and comes under, and either does a punch on the outside or a punch on the inside, which would be what you call a delayed counter. That's why sometimes he'll make a person miss 3 times but won't counter. You just get, because when people just attack like that, it's very easy to deal with. It is. Most boxers train that way. But it's when you start mixing it up and making people guess what you're going to throw, like with feints. Like I mentioned the other night about a feint. A feint, Jose Torres was trained by Customada, as you know. He said a feint is an outright lie, which means when a person throws a true feint, the fighter that's fighting, he doesn't know whether it's real or not. It's not just somebody being jerky, because a feint is you're meant to sell the feint, and sometimes you have to sell the feint by slowing it down or making it longer. And this is the key when you've got two people of equal skill and power. The master of the feint will win the fight. because it will set the shots up based on the other person's reactions. It's not like a planned thing a lot of times, because you don't know what a guy's gonna do in the ring. You never know. And fights are won in the training camp as well, and by decisions as well. Like Ray mentioned about Leonard and Hagler. One of the reasons why Leonard won that fight was not because of his skill; it was because of the judging. Because when Leonard fought Duran, one of the judges was Harry Gibbs, and Harry Gibbs gave the fight to Leonard. Right. Well, when Goody Petronelli found out that Harry Gibbs was going to be one of the referees, he didn't want him in there. However, when Gibbs watched the fight, he gave the fight to Hagler, and that was a big mistake. If he'd have had Gibbs in there, Hagler would have won that fight.
Listen, man, all the moving parts to a great fight, and all the moving parts, it's so many different things affecting it. There's like the fight happening and the result coming from the fight to quell all the rumors and quell all the talking going on in the background. That's why they say until they fight, they just haven't fought. Let me bring in Too Rich into the building. Too Rich, how you doing, family?
Man, how's it going? How everybody doing?
Man,
how we doing?
Yeah, doing good. Yeah, man. For me, like I said, I was glad to see that interview with Hearn and Ellerbe, man, so it could kill all the noise with everybody thinking that Tank done sent the contract and all that, which I think anybody with common sense know. No contract had been sent or no offer had been sent. Now, my opinion of the Tank and Shakur is me. I just simply go by patterns. I'm not the person that try to predict something that I haven't seen before. I need the information first. And when I look at Tank, we know he's a great fighter, knockout puncher, but it's similarities in the fact that he hasn't fought. No real movement or motion was made toward fighting a T.O. No real movement or motion made toward fighting a Devin Haney. And here with Shakur, we're waiting again. It's the same show. What I'm saying is these fights are not made on purpose because it's the matchmakers that's making the fights. It's not the promoter, it's the matchmakers. And you'll hear me say one thing, it's not a good matchup. No. When they place an opponent in the ring with Shakur, who they place Shakur in the ring with? Power punches. De Los Santos or Valdez. They put him purposely in the ring with power punches because the advantage goes to the boxer. Where the PBC matchmakers, they know that. So they haven't put Tank in the ring with an elite boxer. They avoid the elite boxer because the casual fan wants to see a knockout. So if you want to sell your product to the casual fan, well, you better keep them away from the boxer. The boxer is the most dangerous style of fighting, even though it doesn't look like that. If we look at history, we see Canelo versus Mayweather. How'd that go? Canelo was the power puncher. Mayweather was the boxer. Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. How did that go? Terrence Crawford versus Spence. Spence was the pressure fighter and the eye collector. How did that go? So I just tend to go with history. I want to know who's the better boxer and are they on the same level? Because it's not created equal. Are they on the same level? So with me, I would have to stick with it and say I got B-Vol over Better Be. If the Canelo and Berlanga is interesting because I would have to ask myself, who's the better boxer? Well, I would have to say Canelo is the better boxer. Okay, we got that. Canelo is the better boxer. We know the advantage goes to Canelo. But history has shown me if a power puncher gonna beat the boxer, how does he do it? Well, the only thing I got in recent history to go by is even though I know there's a PD scandal, is Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney. And how did Ryan Garcia do? How did he do it? He jumped on Haney early. Don't let him get in the rhythm. So, but when you look at Tank and Shakur, Tank is a slow starter. He needs to download the information. He needs to get everything. I don't think he's gonna have that time to do that with Shakur. He's gonna be down on rounds, maybe by the 6th or 7th round. And then all Shakur got to do then is go run, go high, go run, do whatever you got to do. And I think if Shakur makes the fight boring, even though everybody looking to see this exciting fight, if Shakur makes the fight boring, that means Tank is not exciting. That's the advantage goes to Shakur.
I agree. I love the breakdown. I love it. I love it. I love it, man. Cool. That was a real good breakdown too, Rich. And you're totally right, man. The boxer and the puncher, man. The tale of two lovers in the night. You know what I'm saying? The perfect partners. You know what I'm saying? That give you an opportunity to see these great fights, and that's what we're gonna get with a Tank and a Shakur, without a doubt. That's what we're gonna get. We're gonna get the boxer and the puncher, and people forget historically what those fights look like and how competitive those fights really become. We get used to seeing what we see from these fighters because of the matchmaking. Used to seeing them, and we can't fathom these fights going in any other direction. But then there's certain matches that are made in heaven, and as boxing fans, we win when those fights happen. You know what I'm saying? Yep. We definitely win.
100%.
I predict Shakur will win.
There it goes. There you go.
Taking a boxer.
Yeah. It's just, and listen, I think Shakur can win. I'm leaning towards Tank right now because I want to see Shakur's ability to sit on some shots, to take some chances. I don't see him take any chances. I'd like to see his ability to do those things, but it's a very close fight to me. Very close fight. And don't be shocked if I don't switch up. And because in the beginning I thought Shakur would be Tank, but as of late, I just seen Shakur kind of like being reluctant to want to mix it up, or reluctant to, I don't know. I just seen some reluctance in him, but he had the injury he talked about one time. Then he also had, I don't know. I want to see it, but I know it's going to be a super close fight one way or the other. I would not be shocked to see Shakur win. Not at all. Anybody can do it. Shakur can do it.
The thing is, though, with Tank, because he's never lost and he's been knocking everybody out near enough, people don't expect him to lose. Mm-hmm. But when you really analyze boxing, you watch the nuances of certain things, especially when people have boxed before or got a good eye for it. There's things that I can see with Tank that can be exploited. Same as that's why I was able to predict Leonard beating Hagler, because Hagler always did a stutter step when he jabbed, and Leonard took advantage of that. And this is something I can see in Tank, and I will discuss this when they have the fight.
Yeah, we're going to definitely have a good time. When that fight gets set up, it's going to be a good time for boxing. Good content is going to come out of that. Guys, if you're in the building, I'm not sure if you haven't hit the like button, please do so. And if you haven't subscribed, I think we got like 1 or 2 new people in here. Please remember to subscribe as well. Definitely appreciate you guys being here tonight. Yeah,
to be honest, I'm just saying. Can I just say this? I'm not saying that Tank's not a great boxer.
Right.
But styles make fights. You know, look at Mayorga when he fought Vernon Forrest. Nobody thought Vernon Forrest would lose that.
Right. He beat Shane against him. I mean, look, styles make fights, man. Just because Shakur is able to win a fight doesn't mean Tank isn't a good boxer or good anything. The question is, right, exactly. It just on that night, somebody has to win and somebody's gonna lose, bro. Unless there's a draw, which I don't think we're expecting that. Somebody's got to win and somebody's got to lose, bro. That's all I got to say. You know what I mean? And if the person who loses isn't the most trash fighter in the world, you know what I'm saying? The person who win, maybe that night they're the best fighter in the world. You know, like the way it works. But Shakur winning doesn't discredit Tank Davis's ability to win.
You don't have to hate one guy to like another. You know,
right. And another,
I like both of them, to be honest.
Right, I do too. And another instance of history that we can look at too in comparison to this fight, maybe you guys relate to it or not, is Pernell Whitaker versus Julio Cesar Chavez. That was a great fight.
Right.
That was a really good fight, very similar in stature too. You know what I mean? So we got a whole bunch of fights we can actually make parallels to with this type of combatantness, and I think that was a fight that they thought Pernell was robbed, right? Yes, it was.
Yeah.
But that's just to show you, like, I mean, that fight can go either way. Even if it is dominant to the boxer, whatever the case may be, it could be a fan favorite, could be it just don't leave it in the judge's hands at the end of the day. But if you do, you got to make sure you dominate the fight in fair fashion. I have to say, don't leave anything on the table.
Been talking about the puncher and the boxer, Whitaker and Roger Mayweather. Look what happened there.
Yeah,
right.
Same thing.
Hey, you know,
and he got dropped in that fight. Mayweather did.
Hey, I got
Nobody expected that.
Go ahead, too, Rich.
I got an outlandish take, man, and I know a lot of people won't agree with it. And once again, it's just me going by patterns. But I think Shakur wins the fight, and believe it or not, I think he wins by stoppage. And let me tell you what I mean. Do I believe he's gonna knock Tank out? No, I do not. What I believe that he's gonna outclass Tank to the point where Tank don't see a way to get him out of there, because Tank gonna rely on trying to get him out there. And I think if he hasn't done it, or maybe even landed something significantly by the 8th or 9th round, I could see Tank just getting bored, and by the 10th or 11th round, they quit on the stool by injury, some type of injury or some type of reason to stop the fight. And the reason why I say that, if you believe the sparring story, we know with Tank and Haney, eventually Tank, he just quit. He just stopped. And if you believe the sparring story with Brian Norman, once again, Tank just stopped in the corner. So I look at these patterns. So I'm not saying definitely it's going to happen, but it's a pattern there that if he gets frustrated, rather than just get embarrassed, he just stops. Because even with the Pitbull Cruz fight, everybody want to say Tank hand was hurt. I posted a short that Pitbull Cruz trainer saying that Tank hand wasn't hurt. He just couldn't stop Pitbull Cruz, and they came up with an excuse. But Tank said after the fight, when they asked him, did he want to fight Pitbull again? He said no. Well, that don't sound like somebody whose hand was hurt. That if my hand wasn't hurt, I would have did this. It was like, no, I don't want to fight him again. So I think Tank can get a little bored, or if it don't go his way, you know, kind of spoiled a little bit. And if it don't go his way, I could see them stopping that fight in the 10th, end of the 10th round or 11th round due to an injury or something like that.
Okay. All right. Anybody want to dispute that? Mic's open. We can bring him up.
Listen,
I see some people in the chat like, what? You know what I mean? Hey, that's what we got. That's what we got.
That's definitely gonna how did he say, stir the pot? You know what I'm saying? I see Centrell Rainey. Centrell Rainey sees it like I think it's fair to say Centrell is a Tank fan, which is official. That's what's up. You know what I'm saying? Because as soon as you give Tank Shakur any kind of chance, he's like, you guys are sleeping on Tank's ability to box. You guys don't know he got a bag. We are aware of everything. I'm not trying to say we're like the all-knowing, but we are very aware of, nobody can't take nothing away from Tank, guys. Anybody who takes anything away from the caliber of fighter Tank is just being completely retarded. Dare I say, I don't know if that word's going to get me demonetized. I said that, but nobody's can take anything away from Tank. But at the same time, Shakur comes with a high set of skills, bro. The ability to beat a great fighter. Shakur got great skills that can beat a great fighter. Tank is a great fighter. Win or loss against a Shakur Stevenson, he is a great fighter. He's not a good fighter. He's not an all right fighter. He's a great fighter. But Shakur Stevenson in his own right is a great fighter. And people don't have this conversation on an even playing field. They don't like to picture this conversation for what it is. It's two great fighters. And when two great fighters get in the ring, the small intangibles make the difference. It's the small things that's going to make the difference to get him the victory. Does Shakur have it? They say the big great fighter versus the smaller great fighter, the big great fighter is going to win. Well, Shakur brings those intangibles, right? He brings the height, he brings the arm reach, he brings the boxing IQ pedigree. Tank brings a whole lot of things as well to the fight. When we see him fight that night, somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose. But this fight against people who really watch boxing, stylistically, it's going to be a very competitive fight. And Shakur can definitely win this fight. He definitely,
of course, he can definitely win.
Definitely. And you know, I posted a short because this story is out there, man. And I posted a short with Schofield father talking, Papa Schofield, and he was saying, you know, he been in sparring with Tank and seen Tank get stopped by the Russians. So you know, don't get me wrong. That's where you want to lose at. Mayweather even said that before. You know, where if you're gonna, you know, lose or have any issues, you need to be in sparring, get it worked out, you know, in practice, basically. So I'm not holding a whole lot of stock in there, but I do think they pick his opponents very carefully, because you could tell me that Devin Haney is too big, but then you go pick Mario Barrios, who is bigger. So ask yourself, what's the difference between Haney and Barrios? What's the skill set? That's all it is. Nothing more, nothing less. One is a better matchup than the other. And I think people kind of lose that this thing is all about matchups, man. And it might not seem like it matters, but I want y'all to remember back when Floyd had Tank, and when Loma wanted to fight Tank, and Floyd said, "Hey, y'all do y'all thing. Don't worry about what we doing over here," because they knew they didn't want to put Tank in there with these other people. They just wanted to guide it themselves and make a star. And that's what they did. They made a star. You know, when it came to Devin Haney, we heard Ellerbe say, "Just leave Tank alone. Just leave him alone." You know, so they've shown me that they have a reluctance, or they're very careful about who they put in the ring with Tank. So when I think about that, I think about when we heard that the PBC really didn't want Errol to fight Terrence Crawford. Why? Who is the people? It's the matchmakers. They never wanted that fight with Terrence Crawford, but Errol wanted to fight. And if Tank is to fight Shakur, it's gonna be because Tank want to fight. Because the matchmakers are not going to make the fight.
That is gospel, what you're saying, bro.
I agree with that completely.
100%, right? Echo, like, people sleep on that, man. They really try to make this, you know, they try to make it sound like these outside factors are going to affect this fight from happening. Oh, he's on the wrong side of the street. He went too close to Eddie Hearn. He's too close to Turkey. He's not, he needs to be with the PBC. He needs to be over here. He needs to be over there. He needs to be putting himself in a position, or this fight's not going to get made. And it's like, you guys are acting like Tank wanting this fight isn't enough. You act like that's not enough, that Tank wanting to fight Shakur is not enough. You really want to believe that? You want to believe that Amazon just gave this guy $240 million for this fight not to be made because he's somewhere else? You are bugging if you think that. They're going to miss out on the opportunity for this super fight because, oh man, he's over there next to Eddie Hearn. Damn, bro, I guess you just get to walk away without $240 million. Hell no. They're giving that, they gave Tank money for the fact that these fights that Tank is going to be involved in are going to happen no matter what, where, how. The fight is going to happen. That's why Leonard Ellerbe, in that interview that we put on there, in that conversation that we put on there, he didn't hesitate to let you know that fight's happening. After, with Eddie Hearn in the video, knowing that Eddie Hearn, he said that this fight's happening no matter what. Why? Tank wants that fight. That's what he said. That's what we've been telling you guys for over a month now. Like, get this out your head that this fight ain't gonna happen because of some stupid, petty little technicality. The only thing that could derail this from potentially not happening is if Shakur Stevenson lost. That's it.
Or moves up, or something else happens.
And even that,
it's a fight for legacy, basically.
Right. And here's the craziest thing about what you guys are saying. At the end of the day, we're looking at the fights because we want to make the fights. You got to remember, Shakur should not be a replacement fight for another champion that was supposed to be at the table. This is a fight that's supposed to be made to bring up and create some type of drama behind it. You know what I mean? As it is. But it shouldn't be until they announce the fight. They're not going to announce it on the behalf of someone else pulling out because and put another top contender on my list in place of him. You're supposed to use a replacement fighter, somebody that's available, somebody can just fill the slot with, and then we move forward from there. That's why I thought it was kind of weird. And I'm not trying to be funny, but with the Cardina situation, right? Cardina was, and I still think people sleep on Cardina. I'm telling you right now, I think you guys are sleeping on Cardina. And I think that Cardina was a guy that was available. He was in the top. It was him and Cambosis in the WBC. And De Los Santos, he already fought De Los Santos. A lot of people said they don't want to see that fight, and it probably could have been a little harder to try to make that fight with the PBC. Then you have Cardina, who's already on his card, and Cambosis, who's out in I don't know if he's no limit or not, Clay, but I know he's out in Australia. So you got Cambosis, right? So now you got your three fighters that you want to make a fight with, and you got to eliminate them. You tried Zepeda. Zepeda said that he's a mandatory. He's actually the mandatory. They ordered the fight. He said he's not ready. So he took a back seat. So now you got to come to the conclusion of the other fighters. Cardina was that guy that's there to fight. He's that guy that's really there to be made a fight. Cardina was not a bad fighter. He's a 2-time champion, guys, at 130. He's a fight that Shakur wanted to make. He's a fight that Oshaki Foster wanted to make. He's a fight that Lamont Roach wanted to make. He's a fight that Oscar Valdez wanted to make. On Bob Arum's side, they didn't want to make that fight because they seen the dangers in this guy when these guys had the titles. They seen the dangers. So Bob didn't want to lose those belts, so he kept everybody over there at top rank. As far as it going to the PBC side, I don't think they wanted to deal with Eddie at that time. That's what I think it was. And I don't think Lamont Roach with PBC or is he with Pro Box?
Lamont's with Pro Box.
He is, right? Because I heard he's still a PBC fighter. But either way, I think at the time
uses Pro Box for their free fights for a lot of their fighters that they need to keep busy. That's what I heard. Rumor.
Okay, so I believe he's PBC, but they were dealing with Eddie at that time. So if they're not dealing with somebody, what would be the most sensible thing to do? We're not going over there to fight this guy. He's a danger, 1, and 2. We don't want to fight him. So this guy actually fought a guy that only had 1 loss, and it was a good loss. He was a good fighter, and you know what? He got a couple of cheap shots in that made this guy uncomfortable. And when you get uncomfortable, you start thinking in the ring. Echoes right here. He boxes. When you're uncomfortable, you start thinking in the ring. You come off your game plan, and you straight off your game plan. You can easily lose a fight because now you're thinking about things while you're fighting. You're not clear headed and you're not focusing on the game plan. So and you're not making the right adjustments. So that happens. It's boxing. He lost. He didn't lose because he got knocked out. It was a technical knockout. They stopped the fight. Everyone's talking about he got knocked the F out like he was in Friday or something. That never happened. You know what I mean? He got a slobber knocker, and it became what it was. The guy said he had a problem with weight issues anyway, so he was going to move up. So he moved up. He got ranked as he moved up. So the guy's in the rankings. And it wasn't like he went down there and said, hey, 130, you want to send a guy up here? Oh, yeah, send me that guy. That's not what happened. The guy was already at 130, and he's a former champion and a formidable champion at that. He's just low in the rankings. If he goes out there and surprises the world and he beats Shakur, are we going to blame Shakur or are we going to give him the credence? That's where it becomes a problem. Because I think more people would rather kick Shakur's back in than saying, hey, Cardina's really a good fighter. Because I've seen the same thing happen, and I'm just going to make this real quick reference with Liam Paro and Sabril Matias, right? So we just see nobody really gave Liam Paro a chance. And when Liam Paro beat Sabril Matias, now all of a sudden a lot of people have, oh, my goodness. Right? Look at him laughing. Right? Oh, my goodness. I didn't know this guy could do it. And we've been saying this, Clay. Clay, I've been on this channel saying Sabril cannot beat a boxer. He can't beat a boxer. So things happen. So let the things develop. Let's see how fights go. Let's live in the moment. I get it. It's not a fight that a lot of people want to see because they don't want to, you know what I mean? They're not recognizing the opponent, but he was a replacement fighter. He was a fighter that was able to fight at the time, and that's who they seeked out. Let's just see how it goes. That's all.
I agree.
And you know what else too, man? It is a lot of people, even though we watch boxing and we see knockouts all the time, it's a knockout is like a 3-point shot. Even though you see people make them, it's a low percentage shot. So the odds of a fight ending in a knockout is only like 20 or 30%. So we know, I'm pretty sure most people think if Tank is to win this fight, it gotta be by knockout. Well, we ain't never even seen Shakur Stevenson marked up. We ain't never seen nobody really just beat him up. So I think all the odds fall in the favor of Shakur, or Tank gotta get a knockout. And I don't see him being able to catch up to Shakur Stevenson enough to get that knockout. So let me ask you this, ask y'all this question. Think about it like this. If the same money was given, because everybody won't fight Tank because of the money, supposedly. So if you were offering the same money, $20 million or whatever to fight Tank or Shakur, which one would be the easier fight to win if they had to pick? Would you pick Tank or would you pick Shakur? Because all we hear is about you ain't gonna catch up to Shakur. He ain't gonna stand. That sounds like it's gonna be hard to get to Shakur, which that would make Tank the easier fight. A possibility. We know 90% of the fighters not gonna win, but I'm just saying if they had to pick, which one do you think you could beat?
I think a lot of people would pick Shakur, but I think Shakur I think Shakur is just a more complicated fighter. I'm not gonna lie, but I mean Tank. That's a hard question. Salute to my big bro Blue Blood Sports in the building, man. I'm assuming you touch base, and you home safe, brother. Good to see you,
sir.
I know you're flying over there.
Yes, sir. So actually, I like what you said. So I know Clay was talking, but since he stopped, if you don't mind, I'll be quick with it. I actually think that's a really hard question, but I was gonna say I think Shakur. Shakur also.
You've been there. I hope you ain't been there too long, bro.
I knew he was waiting to come up, but that's my brother Rick Timms. Yeah. So no, at the end of the day, I definitely think that Shakur will probably be the fight that most people will challenge and think that it's okay to go after him. I think Shakur does have some vulnerabilities, and a lot of people don't realize what they were. And Shakur does a great job of defending those vulnerabilities. One, it doesn't look like he takes good body shots. Two, we never really seen him, as you said, Too Rich, get hit in the face, so we don't even know what that looks like, how he reacts. And there's his adversity moment. If he gets clipped, does he go down? Does he take the punch well? Like, how does he react? But the body is definitely evident. He's been known in the past to say that the body shots do hurt and they do affect him. So with that being said, I would think that'd be an easier fight, because I think Tank. A lot of people speak on the speed of Tank. Tank is very agile, quick. He's almost like a mongoose. The Cobra's biggest foe is the mongoose. Why? Because the mongoose has quickness. He has speed. He's not fast. He's just quicker. So he's able to evade the strike, and not only evade the strike. Yeah, right. That too. He's also able to get behind the snake and make the death blow. But on that point, I'm gonna give it back to Clay, because I know he was doing something while he was talking. I just wanted to chime in real quick.
Nah, man, I'm not none at all. If anything, want to bring Rick Timms in the building. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Salute, my brother.
Salute.
Man, all right. Can y'all hear me clearly?
Yeah, real good.
All right, good. Hey, man, I like that analogy about the mongoose, Ray. The key aspect about that mongoose also is fearless. It has no fear. It approached that cobra like he the one with the deadly venom. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm waiting to see to come out of Shakur. I mean, dog, when I watch Mr. Stevenson live when he was speaking to Coach Kenny, and he spoke boldly, he spoke really confidently. Man, y'all drop Loma and I step in November. His exact words. Drop Loma and let me step in for November. So when Loma magically stepped aside, I fully expected to see a plethora of tweets from Shakur. What's up, Tank? Let's do this. Coach Kenny, what's up? Jay Prince, I want Tank. I didn't get that same energy once Loma was out the way against Edwin. Buddy just mentioned we never seen Shakur face marked up, and I agree. the dude is exceptionally defensive. I mean, his reflexes, footwork, the boy is top notch. I just want to see him engage more. You this super defensive wizard was stand in the pocket mode when you got some real heat in there.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we get Tank and Shakur, somebody gonna get hit. Dog, I played running back in high school. I played cornerback in college. Punt return, kick return. When I'm out there in man coverage on a receiver, and if it's a wide receiver screen, I know I'm finna get hit with that outside tackle coming to clear me out. You know you're gonna get hit. It seems like Shakur don't want to get hit, and you in the wrong sport. I mean, you gonna get hit sometime. You gotta take a chance sometime if you want your pay to go up, if you want your exposure to go up. I mean, we all see this talent you have. Put it on display more. Don't talk about it, be about it. Is all I'm saying to Shakur, man. That's it. That's it.
Okay.
That's a great breakdown, bro. That was a real good breakdown. Yeah, that was a real great breakdown, brother. And that's what you're saying is what has me leaning towards Tank. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? That part right there, that's the box that needs to be checked for me with Shakur. I think he has a lot of talent, you know what I'm saying? But the fearlessness, you know, Tank got that fearlessness. He's got that will to act and take advantage of everything he brings to the ring. He's not gonna hesitate. He's gonna throw that kill shot. If he sees you bleeding, the blood in the water, he's gonna do what he's supposed to do. Shakur, on the other hand, like perfect example, in the last fight he just had with Artem, they would look like there were opportunities in there to capitalize and do more than he did, but he pulled his foot off the gas for whatever reason. He just didn't. Now, I know he's gonna say he didn't have to. I understand. But knowing that fight was a fight coming off of a horrible performance with the De Los Santos, and even to have your grandfather putting the pressure on you as well, to say, listen, man, come on, bro. Go ahead and hit the gas and get this guy out of here. Do that. He's even rumors of Terrence Crawford and Andre Ward kind of speaking to him a little bit after the fight, you know, like, hey, little bro, let your hands go. So there seemed to be some hesitation and some reluctancy to engage and to do that work based off of the idea of him getting hit. Based off the idea of him getting hit, he chooses to go for it.
Right.
So okay, think about like what you just said. Okay, so if you're Tank's team, what if Shakur pop, then don't engage? Don't pop, don't engage. That could be dangerous. When you're talking about a W or L, that could be dangerous. That could be used as a weapon. That he just might need to get off his shot and get out the way. That's the reason why they don't want to take the fight. We heard Coach Kenny say that he's not gonna engage because they need, when you look at it from a matchmaking point of view, they need somebody to engage with Tank so Tank can get his shots off. You see what I mean? So that I'm telling you, the thing that we talk bad about Shakur is the weapon that beats Tank, and that's the weapon that they're worried about. That's what they worried about. So think about it like this. I think most people say, we all say Tank gives up rounds. We heard Hearn tell Ellerbe to his face, Tank gives up rounds, right? Okay. When have you? I might not be an expert, so I'm asking y'all. Have y'all ever seen Shakur down on rounds? Have you ever seen him down on? We know Tank gives up rounds. Have we ever seen Shakur down on rounds?
I've never seen it in a close fight.
So, you know, I'm just saying it's a lot of advantage, even when you listen to people talk, that they're saying what the advantage is. But I get it. Tank is a spectacular talent. So I'm not saying Tank is no good. I'm saying it's a matchup thing. We know Tank is an excellent fighter. Shakur is an excellent fighter. So if you got two excellent fighters going at it, it's going to be about the matchup that makes the difference.
Yeah, man. By the way, I think I got the best panels in the boxing space. I'm not gonna hold you. I don't want to be arrogant. That's how I feel about it. I think the people that come up here to build are some of the best pedigree cut cloth in the space. I think I attract the best boxing minds in the game. When I see this panel right here in particular, when I see across the water, I got Echo, from England, staying, you know what I mean, at all wee hours of the evening until early mornings. I got 2 rigs that I can cook on multiple different panels, you know what I'm saying, and his own channel. And I got Rick Timms around and doesn't pop up unless it makes sense. He won't pop up. If it's trash, he'll sit in the back, I won't say nothing. And I got great people in the chat as well, man. So I like the direction the channel's heading into. I love to hear the input and the different ideas. It's just so many angles. And literally, I know when I walk away from this show tonight, I'm gonna be sitting here thinking about this damn fight. Maybe even change my mind, going into different directions because of the shit y'all saying, fuck my whole head up, bothering me, getting on my damn nerves, stuff I gotta think about. You know what I'm saying? Now I gotta think. Okay, you guys. Table. I feel like Echo was putting his hands up, like he was trying to say something. So
yeah, I was gonna say something about Shakur when it comes to the commitment of fighting. See, the thing is, you can be a daredevil and you can be a gambler. See, a daredevil doesn't care about the odds, about throwing a shot. You know, he'll just throw it. And sometimes you've got to be a daredevil when it comes to fighting. Just let your shot go. And don't worry about what's coming back. Just react to it. If you're apprehensive about what's coming back, you're going to be a bit more hesitant to let your shot go. Now, the key to handling this is to use more feints. I've always said this. The master of the feint will win the fight when there's 2 people of equal skill. And you don't always have to land the biggest shots all the time. You can always set the last shot to be the biggest shot and then get out. You don't have to hit hard all the time, you know, and you've only got to watch some of the, like, you use the example of Whitaker. Whitaker didn't always throw hard shots, but he used to stay in the pocket a lot and took some chances. And he was a bit of a daredevil, and he did break the mold when it came to that, because sometimes he would punch people. I mean, like I said before, he knocked down was it Mayweather, Roger Mayweather in that fight, and Mayweather was the puncher, remember? So this is I think would be a good thing if Shakur can embrace that. But only at the right time, you know. It's knowing when to do it, not just do it all the time. Like I said, Whitaker did it. He fought in the pocket now and again. Sometimes he'd clown. Sometimes he'd do some bizarre stuff. But he was very. He had a lot of variety in his punching. He did. It wasn't just jab, you know, jab left cross, whatever. He could mix it as well.
I think one of the great things about Shakur is that he doesn't allow the pressure to get to him. He doesn't allow people's expectations on him finishing a fight, fighting a certain way. He's going to fight his fight. That's one thing you definitely count on, and that makes him even more dangerous as well.
Of course,
he's very confident in himself, right? He's very confident in what he does, and his whole thing is beat me to make me change. I'm not into changing because of the crowd. One of the best things that may have ever happened to Shakur Stevenson is the lack of support from the space. He's become desensitized and disconnected from what the space thinks about him. And he's like, it doesn't even matter anymore. So there's no more, you know, kind of Devin suffered from that, right? Like Devin actually fell down to the space. He said, you know what? I want to throw these shots, and I want to be a knockout guy, and I want to be what they want me to be. And it ended up being his downfall. Shakur just ain't going to go out that way.
And you know,
that's good. Knowing yourself, and knowing the opponent are the two main ingredients.
Identity crisis over there.
The art of war, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
And people got to remember, man. And I'm gonna say this. I think the 2 fights that everybody all of a sudden down on Shakur on that may make a difference is that the 2 fights is because he had 135. So I do think it's a difference in power that he feel moving up in weight from 130. But if we think about the Oscar Valdez fight, Oscar Valdez was coming off a devastating, you know, he knocked out a guy devastatingly, and Shakur went in there and took him apart with no problem. And I think people forgetting that Shakur. They're judging him by the last 2 fights, and I get it. You know, I get that. But that ain't the Shakur that got famous, you know, from the last 2 fights. So you got to remember that guy's a decorated fighter, man. He's a decorated fighter. He's gonna be difficult. Well, you know, it's a fight, man. Anybody can win, they could take one shot, but he's definitely gonna be the most difficult fighter that Gervonta has ever faced. Whereas I think Shakur has been in there with knockout punches, and he's shown that you got to land the punch. If you could be a knockout punch all day long, but you got to land it. Like Canelo couldn't land it. I saw Mayweather sit there in the pocket and just shoulder roll, and Canelo could not land the power. So that's what a good boxer can do. He can nullify the power. Now let me say this real quick. When I did a breakdown on the Frank Martin fight, right, what I saw Frank Martin have success with was keeping Tank in the middle of the ring and turning him. Pop, 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 turn him. In order for Tank to get that uppercut, he got to get leverage. And he's getting the leverage from the ground, so his feet got to be set. As long as Frank was turning him, Tank had to reset his feet. So Tank is not a traditional boxer. Everybody say he's a good boxer. He really know he looking for his setup. He good at finding his setup. He's gonna paw with the right, knock your jab down a little bit, and he's trying to shoot the uppercut. The best thing Shakur could do is copy. Soon as Tank get his feet set, shoot your own uppercut. He's always a fighter is open to his best punch. So we saw Crawford versus Errol Spence. Crawford took Errol Spence's jab away with his own jab because Errol Spence was open, because that's his best shot. You open when you're throwing a shot. That's when you're most open, when you're throwing a shot. But Tank's shot, money shot, is the uppercut. Every time Tank set his feet, Shakur need to be shooting his own uppercut. If nothing else, making Tank react to his punches, you know. But if Tank or Canelo, same thing with Berlanga, Tank and Canelo a lot. They're gonna try to get the rhythm of the fight. You gotta disrupt that rhythm, like Bivol did to Canelo. Crawford did to Spence. You gotta disrupt that rhythm and make them react versus sit there and set up their own punches.
Man, that sounds so good. It's just easier said than done, man.
No doubt.
Ain't nobody been able to do any of that. And I don't recall Frank having much success at all. I don't remember Frank. I saw Frank and they're looking lost. Frank was in deep water. Frank was, I don't remember him having that much success though.
Hey, I did a breakdown on my channel, man. You can check it out, man. Frank had a lot of, he was catching. Did you see Tank face? You know, the commentator asked Tank after the fight, was his face okay? Was his face hurting? Frank got going. Frank touched him up, man.
Yeah, I want to show you guys something right quick. Ray just sent me something on X, and you know, this is, you know, kind of jumping away from this, and we are about to close this up in a minute. You know that time it is. It's late as hell. This is in reference to the Edgar Berlanga and Canelo Alvarez fight, and how is Edgar Berlanga going to be able to get this win? You know, I know it's an open and shut case for most people as far as Canelo Alvarez and this Edgar Berlanga fight is concerned. But take a look at this here, and this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about with Edgar Berlanga, what he has to do to win this fight. And it seems like Edgar is on the same page. It seems like he understands the same thing that I was saying. Let's find out. Let's take a look at it real quick. Tell me what you think. Hold on. Let me just back this up.
That jab is his kryptonite. Bilbo threw at least like 60 jabs around.
Never let him breathe.
Whoop, out, whoop, good jab. Again, look, you see? Jab, jab, uppercut, jab, jab here. I'm big as fuck. He see my height, he see how big I am? I was destined for this, man. It was my time to shine and take over the sport of boxing now. That jab is his kryptonite. Bilbo threw at least like 60 jabs around.
Never let him breathe.
Whoop, out, whoop, good jab. Again, look, you see? Jab, jab, uppercut, jab, jab here. I'm big as fuck. He see my height, he see how big I am? I was destined for this, man. It was my time to shine.
What do you guys think of that?
Oh yeah. I'm going for Berlanga, man. I'm going for Berlanga. I'm going for Berlanga.
What do you think?
Echoes
in his head.
Hey man, hey, you can know the game plan. You can have the blueprint printed out, but if you don't have the skill set, the talent, and the wherewithal to execute that game plan and blueprint, you're wasting your time. And Berlanga is not Beaver. He don't have that kind of talent, man. It's not gonna happen, man. But hey, Canelo took this fight because he know Berlanga is food. Like I say, hey, I just said a million times. Berlanga is rolling at 168 to me, dog. He ain't it.
Can I just say something about this?
Yes.
It's not just tuning the jab, it's how you do it. You've got to tuck your chin away. You've got to vary the guard. You've got to vary the head position when you jab. You just can't jab. That's not going to work.
Right.
I mean, sometimes you start the jab with your head in one position and you'll end it in another.
Mm.
You know, sometimes you'll start the jab, you know, in a certain position and you'll slow the punch down. Sometimes your hand will be here, sometimes it'll be there. You know, sometimes your head will be offline. Sometimes you jab off the back foot. Sometimes you jab off the front foot. Sometimes you jab on the second feint. You know, you vary the. Sometimes you watch a boxer. I've watched boxing since longer than any of you guys, I'm sure. But if you do a jab and you back off and you jab while you're lower down, usually people run into the jab. You know, like a jab like this. They just run onto that jab. They do, rather than jabbing at the same level all the time.
Right.
You know, there's so many ways you can deal with people. You know, and also when you jab into the body or punch into the body, the golden rule is to get your shoulder level with the target, because then they have to punch down and you can punch over. But if you're throwing body shots when people are high, when you're high, then your head is the target. Same as when you're jabbing, you've got to vary the height and the angle of your head and the angle of your arm as well. And pin your chin away. You know, you've got to pin your chin into your collarbone, not like this.
Right.
And if you watch Bivol, when he does his jab, he does a rapier jab. He basically does a jab side on. He very rarely does a 3/4 jab.
Right.
But you can throw a 3/4 jab as the first one. Somebody will power it or step back. Then throw a jab with a longer jab, which is more side on, and catch the person. This is what catches people out. Same as when Mayweather does a shoulder roll. He don't always do the shoulder roll like this. Sometimes he'll turn his shoulder right in and he'll stay more square and just throw a short, straight right punch to the person, especially on the ropes. So he'd do that a lot. So it wouldn't have to travel very far. This is the difference between an intellectual fighter and a mechanical fighter.
Yeah.
A mechanical fighter needs it to be.
Yeah, Mayweather killed Canelo with that straight right out for that shoulder roll that you speaking on, Echo. And the last thing I'm gonna say about that Canelo is you know, I'm real critical on Canelo and his duck tactics, but the guy has a hell of a chin. The guy that been through some wars, and just from the experience standpoint alone, I mean, the dude is approaching like, I think he had like 490 something professional rounds, and I don't think Berlanga is at 50 maybe. I mean, that's a hell of a lot of experience to overcome for him to pull off that upset, and man, that's gonna be tough.
There's no substitute for experience. There's not.
Shout out to the thumbnail, formidable. That's what tonight was all about, man. Is making these fighters. Is making these fights interesting. Let's find out how these fighters can win. Let's speak about it on that level, because man, they can win. They may have to be perfect. They may have to be extraordinary. They may have to be the not usual version of themselves that they are, which is a flawless version of themselves. We might have to see this Edgar Berlanga be a high IQ fighter, show us that he's intelligent in the ring, show us that he can set shots up, that he has the ability and the conditioning to put more pressure on Canelo than nobody else has done, and do something that nobody else has done. We'll see.
The thing is, though, Clay, when you're thinking in the ring, you're not performing so much. You just kind of stop and you analyze. What he has to do is to do this he'd have had to have done this in training to make it reflective.
Earlier in this show, I said, if he's trying to become this high IQ fighter, if he's this fighter who's going to be thinking, is this going to hurt him? Because you need to do what got you to the big show and perfect that. That you need to do what you can do with your eyes closed. Do what you've been doing for the longest period of time, because we're creatures of habits, right? We're restricted by our habits. What we do most of the time is what we do all the time. So if Edgar Berlanga is watching videos just right now of Dimitri Bivol, and his game plan is to match Dimitri Bivol's approach. Well, you're not Dimitri Bivol, so now you're up in there trying to do something that you're not used to doing. You're taking a risk, a big risk of getting exposed and becoming a victim of the paralysis of analysis and giving Canelo the opportunity to do what he wants to do. Right? It's a tricky game.
I mean, the thing is, what you just said there about habit. What really is a habit? A habit is an overlapping of knowledge, skill, and attitude, and that's where it all comes together. Having that knowledge, skill, and attitude, that's what a real habit. Because you might know what to do, but not know how to do it. You may know how to do it, and you know what to do, but you haven't got the attitude to do it. Especially like within training, a lot of people know they should run, but they don't run. Some boxers don't skip. Some boxers don't do weights or whatever. They try to do things they shouldn't do, and that's the difference between perspective and control. Perspective is knowing what to do, and the control is being able to do it. And the key to boxing in the ring is to be able to handle the pressure in the fight. It's not what skill you've got; it's what skill you've got under pressure. This is going to be a true test for Berlanga to test himself and to prove himself.
Right.
Berlanga gonna have to channel Buster Douglas.
Hey, whatever. Bring it back.
Yeah. When he lost his mom,
That's 2 times today. That was the second quarter. That. I really said that earlier.
Hey, wait, one other thing I want to say, if you like that clip you just showed, these are things I noticed as Canelo was taking those punches. Look at where his feet at. His feet is right up under him, meaning he's not in a position to throw back. Right. Well, you see that out of Tank too early in the fight when they go into those high guards.
Bivol threw at least like 60 jabs around.
Never let him breathe.
Whoop out, whoop good jab again. Look, you see? Jab, jab, uppercut, jab, jab here. I'm big as fuck. He see my height.
You see?
Jab, jab, uppercut, jab, jab here. I'm big as fuck. He see my height. You see how big I am? I was destined for this, man. It was my time to shine. And
did you see it?
And that's my point. See, he's not, even if Canelo would have thrown a punch, it wouldn't have had no power on it because his feet is not up under him. And what I'm saying is, when it comes to Tank, you'll see that too early in the fight. You'll see that out of Tank. He'll just kind of cover up in a high guard. His feet is not up under him. That's when you're going to have to pop, pop, pop. Now, if you look at Crawford versus Madrimov, now Madrimov was landing some one shots here, one shot there. But if you look, Crawford had his high guard up, but his back foot was extended out, meaning he could pull a counter. He was just trying to time it and couldn't get it timed, but he was in a position to punch. So, and when you see Tank come along in the 8th round, when he ready to get him up out of there, you see him leaning forward with the high guard. Now he ready to kill now. But early in the fight, he just kind of going to defensive posture, feet right up on him. That's when you have to pop him, go to his body, take the air out of him. Because that's what he waiting for you to do to drain yourself. So you got to take the air out of him by going to his body. Him or Canelo. if the Canelo and B-Ball fight, Canelo was breathing hard. Now it could have been the extra weight. Don't get me wrong, he definitely looked better back at 168. But you know, you got to go to that body to take the air out, man. You got to take the air out.
And for the Buster Douglas upset to happen, we gonna need Canelo to duplicate Mike. And he not slacking doing training. He not having sex right now. He not gonna be smoking and drinking the night before the fight. So good luck with Berlanga.
We're about to wrap it up, man. If you guys want to make your last closing statements about that time, I know we go all night and the time flies, man. But damn it, my circadian rhythm is talking to me and saying to me, we got shit to do tomorrow. So, any last statements for you guys?
My closing comment, man. Like I say, good chat, man. Like I say, man, I'm always listening, man. Now sometimes I be at work, so I don't get to stay on long, but you know, I definitely wanted to come on tonight, man, and chop it up with y'all, man. So you know, it's just good to talk to y'all.
Definitely, you too, man. We always appreciate you being up here too, Rich. What about you, Rick?
Oh man, yeah, it's always a pleasure, man. You know, like the vibe, you know, I like the content and shit, man. It's all love with me, man. It's this YouTube boxing stuff can get messy unnecessarily, you know, and I'm just the peaceful guy, man. You know, I don't bother nobody. I just love boxing, man, and shit. Keep doing y'all thing, man.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Echo, what's up with you, man?
Yeah, I'm just going to say that you guys are doing a great job, and it was a great panel today. And I've been watching some of the comments in the chat, and everything's been great. And you guys are doing a great job. And yeah, thanks for letting me come on again. Thank you.
Always, man. Always open door over here, man. Second home for you, Echo. This is where you belong, man.
Can I just say one more thing? You know, before, with Canelo, he may have to step back and catch the jabs rather than stay there.
Right.
And maybe parry them to the side, either inside or outside, because that will be the key to do a step back and jab and to count and to parry, rather than standing there with his guard up.
Right.
And that's what he didn't do against Bivol. He didn't
100%.
step back and parry.
100%. That's why I do wonder if he's got enough respect for Edgar Berlanga's ability to give those issues to adjust, or does he choose to try to walk through him?
Yeah, but the thing is, a real great fighter would know that, and he would have been training for that at some point. Because if you're fighting somebody with a 90-inch reach, you can't afford to block punches.
Right. Right.
You understand what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And this is why I'm talking about stepping back and parrying at the same time, because you take yourself out of range, and also it knocks their hand to either to the left or the right, or down or up. And then you can throw a punch on the outside or the inside when they fall in with their rear hand, maybe. Because most people lean in with their rear hand far too much, especially with the overhand, and then they get caught with the uppercut. That's why James Toney and Mike McCum used to catch everybody with that.
Right.
When he used to pull back and throw the right uppercut, you know, because everybody fell in with the overhand and the right hand. So anyway, you guys have done a great job again, and yeah, thanks for letting me come on again. Thank you.
Oh, no problem.
Thank you, guys, man. You guys have a great evening. Ray, you want to close it out for us?
Yeah, man. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming, everybody, to the channel.
I think Echo was saying something. Okay, he just did.
Yeah, okay. We love the support. We thank everybody for joining us tonight. It was a great conversation. We put everything at hand. We built, and building the boxes is important. Make sure you like, subscribe, and definitely follow. Give us a follow. Share the content, and don't be afraid. Don't be a stranger. And you know what I mean? Support the chat if you can. You know what I mean? We always accept it. You know what I mean? It's relevant. for us, and we hope that you guys all enjoy the show, and we're going to continue to bring this type of content to you always. Thank you.
Salute.
They hate when you elevate. The second of losses, I'm handing them out, yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment, I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly, I had to go demonstrate.
Subscribe if you ain't subscribed yet. Hit the likes on your way out. Peace.
Yeah, I'm feeling myself. Ain't no chance I'm coming down, no. Got a soul view to myself, yeah. Why would I give it up? Why do they wanna come take my place? I work too hard for it, don't need a replacement. This my vocation. Now I got rollies, all in rotation. Hop on a jet just to take a vacation. Remember the moments was trapped in the basement. Now the hard work is all taking me places. Swatting all black like we trapped in the matrix. Bet on myself and go ball out in Vegas. Living a life like I'm rich and I'm famous. Don't see the grind that I know that it came with. I ain't make it this far for myself, yeah. I had to prove to everybody else. I had to set them straight. Yeah, I had to ball, so I had to renovate. I know they hate when you elevate. The second of losses, I'm handing them out. Yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment. I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly.